We want change. We want change. We want change. We want change. We want to change.
Galentolu pule mulila pone. Ona kwa mulilia pone. Bakulu wa bakulu. Every youth.
The sound magician. Wi-Fi on the beat, boy.
Twakupele voting atawa bomba e. Twakupele voting atawa bomba e. Tawali mone voting atawa bomba e. Tawali mone voting atawa bomba e. Pantuno mwaka kuya bebele. Twanakane mwe mwachila mobufi. Kuya bebele akomwele numa. Kuya bebele mwachila mobufi. Mwalitula ile ona lebwati mukesa tupangira kwemisebo. Wali mipele ne voti ati mukesa tupangira kwemisebo. Nimwewo mwatile mukesa tupulira ne chipatala ifwe. Nimwewo mwatile mukesa tupulira na masukulu kuno. Ukutula potwa misalila ifwe. Mwalitula baona lebo. Imisebo ala ya yonaika. Ichipatala takwaba kuno. Abana besu basambirila mufi mutifya mango. Bana mayo mapapira mungande zipatala takwaba kuno. Imisepila chose mbalo fwa bapepa pyebange. Fama lelilo mufunda tawafika. Nembu tota shafika. Ukutula potwa misalila ifwe. Mwalitula baona lebo. Nomba lelo mabwela imwe. Mulefwa ya tumivotere. Twakupele voting atawa bomba e. Twakupele voting atawa bomba e. Tawali mone voting atawa bomba e. Tawali mone voting atawa bomba e. Pantuno mwaka kuya bebele. Twanakane mwe mwachila mobufi. Kuya bebele akomwele numa. Kuya bebele mwachila mobufi. Kuno mwaka tulefwa yabakutubombera nota bakwisa kuno mukuzembereka. Mukutwibira mano nga twabavotera abaya. Nangu mwatupele ndalama tulepo katatwa mivotere. Ni don't kubeba wapoka waya. Ni don't kubeba wapoka waya. Ababina chimwe na mwekole uko bafuma balilaba. Bayi kutapiza bala boko bafuma. Bayi kutapai bala bati bakabwela. Baja chikeni nena mabanu inapana kaso. Wala ona lebo mula beja. Ukutula potwa misalila ifwe. Walitula baona lebo. Nomba lelo mabwela imwe. Mulefwa ya tumivotere. Twakupele voting atawa bomba e. Twakupele voting atawa bomba e. Tawali mone voting atawa bomba e. Tawali mone voting atawa bomba e. Pantuno mwaka kuya bebele. Twanakane mwe mwachila mobufi. Kuya bebele akomwele numa. Kuya bebele mwachila mobufi. Pantuno mwaka kuya bebele. Twanakane mwe mwachila mobufi. Kuya bebele akomwele numa. Kuya bebele mwachila mobufi. Pantuno mwaka twanakane mwe.
The sound magician.
Tube serious. Nocha abantu bale bibepo ufukwe bachawe ifo kuchibuluma twarubana baye mpita tuishi boko beminine ina techimbe UPND na imo kwate niko hoja. Kwate niko hoja. Ifwe waba PF. Bati PF epo batu nyonga kuni bana Chabinga na abanankwe tatu abiki tatu tete tube down. Ifwe tuli chibanda cha green. Weza mulefu wala tamulefu haya. Weza shirema shani. Ukuya kwena wale?
Ini wa mukumanya.
Ela na bala wenye wasendela chipepa cha PF. Ba August 13 bakesa tupela fiatu wamipe. Eka ya letu wombela.
We welcome Kitwe Mayor, Chipata Mayor, Lundazi Council Chairperson. We welcome the councillors and other civic leaders. We welcome MPs, MP Chibuye for Ron and everybody across the country. We are receiving members joining UPND every day in all the 10 provinces of Zambia. Allah, Nachi Diva. Nachi Diva sana.
Na tupokelela mala wa Mukitwe, mala wa Kuchipata, na tupokelela shimu.
The cyber security bill nga mnyamata saina wakalibe kusaina nizi wapu na kusaina inkale longa sana saina kutala. One of the first laws we are going to reverse is the media, is the cyber security bill. We shall reverse it. Kuna muleke kusevenza sa internet, Facebook. This is a modern technology which we want to use to deliver medicines in hospitals and consultancy. A doctor is seated in Lusaka, is consulting to help a patient in Kaputa through social media, through the electronic media. How can we shut and restrict such beautiful services? Ngono kuti bakunyengerere mubavoteranso muvutika another 5 years. Ngabaisa ba PF bakuperaka 1 pin. Walanda boy ninkwatama votes abengi mungani. Mpereni 5 pin. Ngakupera 5 pin. The cyber security bill nga mnyamata saina wakalibe kusaina nizi wapu na kusaina inkale longa sana saina kutala. One of the first laws we are going to reverse is the media, is the cyber security bill. We shall reverse it. Kuna muleke kusevenza sa internet, Facebook. This is a modern technology which we want to use to deliver medicines in hospitals and consultancy. A doctor is seated in Lusaka, is consulting to help a patient in Kaputa through social media, through the electronic media. How can we shut and restrict such beautiful services? Ngono kuti bakunyengerere mubavoteranso muvutika another 5 years. Ngabaisa ba PF bakuperaka 1 pin. Walanda boy ninkwatama votes abengi mungani. Mpereni 5 pin. Ngakupera 5 pin wabika mutumba walole.
Tube serious. Nocha abantu bale bibepo ufukwe bachawe ifo kuchibuluma twarubana baye mpita tuishi boko beminine ina tetimbe UPND na imo kwate niko oda. Kwate niko oda. Ifwe waba PF But PF epo batu nyonga kuni bana Chabinga na abanankwe tatu abiki tatu tube down. Ifwe tuli chibanda cha green. Weza mulefu wala tamulefu haya. Weza shirema shani. Ukuya kwena wale?
Ini wa mukumanya.
Ela na bala wenye wasendela chipepa cha PF. Ba August 13 bakesa tupela fiatu wamipe.
Thank you very much, and welcome to today's broadcast. Today, 12th May 2026. You can share the broadcast with everyone else. Please share the broadcast. Today we are discussing. It's a people's forum. The goodness with the people's forum is that I start the phone calls early. You begin to participate early, and you can ask any questions very early on. So as soon as I'm done with my quick monologue, you will be joining us. First of all, today is the momentous occasion when Parliament held its last sitting. It held its last sitting of the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. So Parliament is expected to dissolve formally, but it held its last sitting. And for me, it's a sad day because this parliament has done things other parliaments have not done. They've taken back our democracy. They've taken it far back. Number one, they passed 77 bills in the last 10 days. 77 bills. Among them, the public gathering bill, which has cemented dictatorship and tyranny in our country. I saw the defense by Sunday Chanda. He tried to put up a spirited defense of the bad law, but he misses the whole point. The entire reason why the public gathering bill was that the PF came up with in 2018, 2019, was to amend the Public Order Act. The Public Order Act is a colonial law designed to stop Africans from meeting. They didn't want 3 of you to meet without the authority of either the council police, mine police, or state police. That was the purpose of that law. Kaunda promised to repeal it. He found it attractive to oppress his political opponents. Dr. Frederick Chiluba pledged to repeal it. It's one of the laws he said he would repeal, especially that we're moving to democracy. Before long, he started using it against his political opponents. There was even a challenge by Christine Murundika, who was a UNIP lawyer. Her and Dr. Kaunda held a meeting in Chongwe, and they were arrested. So she took the matter to court and said this law should be expunged from our statutes because it was a very bad law. And what happened? The Supreme Court ruled that that law was inconsistent with our democratic tenets and our new position as a democratic state, and that it was fashioned to silence Africans, to stop Africans from associating, gathering, and talking, because the colonial authorities were afraid of Africans coming together, and subsequent governments had used it. They expunged it from the statutes. The vice president was General Mianda, and before long the drafters had come up with a fresh law, and it was resubmitted to Parliament, and we still have the Public Order Act, where they only changed one thing, that it will no longer be a notice, it will be a permit, and you needed to notify the police in 7 days. But in practice, we noticed that, let me just briefly come back to you. There's someone calling. He's one of my technicians. Maybe there's something he wishes to tell me.
But PF, Epaba to Nyonga, Kulibana Chabinga, Nama Nankwe, that to be down. If we're to the Chibanda Green, where the Mule fall at a Mule fire, where the Sheva Shani, we are going over there. Never sent the paper at PF. August 13, but can't start to pay a He said to
Yeah, so the Public Order Act, as I was explaining to you, was challenged in the Supreme Court, the famous Christine Mulundika case that expunged it from our statute. But government, being what government is, General Godfrey Mianda tabled it as vice president and leader of the government, leader of the House, quickly tabled a new public order bill, which essentially was the same. They amended only the part that talks about permit to notice. But in practice, from 1994, the police have dealt with what the law provides as a notice. They've still dealt with it as a permit. So from 1994, there's been a sustained campaign to expunge the Public Order Act or replace it with a progressive law. And the public gathering bill of 2019 then, which wasn't enacted, was extremely progressive. It just reduced everything to a notice, progressive, and that citizen can hold any gathering anytime. Come President Hakainde Hichilema. And what did he do? Oh my God. President Hakainde Hichilema has made it worse, like he did with the cyber crimes and cyber security bill, where he has imported offenses of speech into a cyber law. The purpose of a cyber law is not for speech offenses, but what forms both the Cyber Security and Cyber Crimes Act are not cyber crimes or cyber security. They are speech offenses that have been imported into a law that is supposed to secure you in the cyberspace. And we have a worse cyber law. And then remember, he has reenacted seditious practices. People were last charged in the 70s and 80s on the law of sedition, but now it has become common and fashionable, especially after the president repealed the criminal defamation of the president. He found solace in other oppressive laws to still achieve the same goal of installing a dictatorship in our country. So Parliament this week has been very sad. The public gathering bill, not as envisioned by civil society, not as envisioned by progressive forces, not as envisioned by human rights defender, is worse. First, is proscribing any gathering of 3 people. It requires you to get a permit, not a notice, a permit. And like I'm saying, my dear brother Sande Chanda of Kanchibia is totally mistaken with his defense. He's totally mistaken. Our people didn't want, in fact, the Public Order Act cannot be a comparison. It cannot be, because our people expected a new law that will guarantee freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of thought, and gatherings to be free. And any comparison to UK, US, come on, is totally mistaken. Here, I can burn the flag. Here, I can, your own national flag, you can burn it. Here, you can hold any procession. And you cannot be stopped to hold a procession. Whether they are visiting heads of states, whether there is a president, you cannot be stopped. So don't even compare to the US or UK. You are totally mistaken. So I looked at the spirited campaign by Sande Chanda. Again, like I'm saying, totally lost. So this National Assembly, this 13th Assembly, will be remembered for wrong things. That is a parliament that entrenched tyranny and dictatorship. It's a parliament that acted on most times illegally. The Speaker of the National Assembly, I can guarantee you and I can bet, this Speaker will be arrested one day. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be when President Hakainde Hichilema, but she'll be arrested because she passed the constitutional amendments illegally. She allowed strangers in the house, people that had crossed, that had denounced a previous political party and joined another political party. She allowed them in the house. There are many decisions she made that were not utterly illegal. For example, the nullification, the declaration of seats like Petauke seat by mere absence. There is no law that provides that such a seat must be declared vacant. You need to provide for the law. The law is not available, but the Speaker proceeded to declare Emmanuel JJ Banda's seat in Petauke. And she did that, I think, with another seat on account of absence. You can only punish for 30 days. And the law doesn't provide for any other remedy. You keep on suspending them for 30 days for being absent. But, and Tasila Lungu's seat was also nullified on account of absence. There is no single provision in the Constitution that when you absent yourself from Parliament, that your seat can be nullified. You can only be suspended for 30 days, or you can be fined, or there could be other disciplinary matters, but your seat can be declared vacant. Whether that makes sense to you or not, whether you would say people are taking advantage, what the Speaker did on JJ Banda's Petauke and Chawama, totally illegal. So I can guarantee you, Nelly Vutete, Nelly Muti will be prosecuted one day. You and I can bet the grand offenses she has facilitated under this Parliament. Even look at these 77 bills. The law requires that the Gazette notices are issued, widely publicized before any law comes to Parliament. Have you seen any Gazette for all the 77 laws? Didn't you see them for the first time when we published on our pages that they are trying to pass these laws in the next 10 days? So here you are passing legislation without authority, without provisions of the law. It's not enough that you are an independent organ. Look what has happened in South Africa. Parliament decided that there was no sufficient merit to take the impeachment of the president over the Palapala issue to an impeachment committee. That decision was challenged in court, and the judiciary ordered, the Constitutional Court ordered Parliament to take that matter to impeachment. They had no powers to stop it. The impeachment must succeed or fail in the House. Similarly, Nelly Muti was also overruled several times by the courts of law. Remember when she suspended and expelled 9 MPs who lost their seats at High Court level because the seats were nullified, but they appealed to the Constitutional Court. And in fact, nearly all the seats, other than Kwacha and Kabushi, were nullified, were upheld. So she was wrong and she was overruled by the courts of law. The courts of law also overruled her on the issue of Bill 7, which now became constitutional amendments. She ignored flatly. I can tell you, Nelly Muti, mark this day, one day, she'll be prosecuted for her offenses. Let's go to the electoral process that is underway. I've been warning that government is engaged in high-level schemes to bar certain candidates. And I'm not saying this out of malice. And I was vindicated when the ECZ issued this notice. Now that has been backed by the electoral process bill, which has become law, which has been passed. And we know that President Hakainde Hichilema, as soon as he comes from Nairobi, is signing all those 77 laws that have been passed into law, including the oppressive public gathering bill, electoral process bill, and these other laws that have been passed. Here is what ECZ said. The schedule above, they've issued a schedule for pre-processing of presidential supporters in the provincial centers from Monday 11th to Friday 15th May. So this process is going on up to Friday. They are receiving and we'll be discussing it shortly. But there's a notice which we briefly discussed on Friday when I alerted you. But because we had guests on Sunday, Makebi Zulu, we didn't have time to attend to this issue. And today I want to give you sufficient time for you to call and express your concern. It says, please note that during nominations, which is coming up next week, all aspiring candidates must present an adoption certificate to the returning officer. The adoption certificate must be signed by both the President and the Secretary General of the sponsoring political party, as reflected in the records of Registrar of Societies. Any letter signed by an individual whose name doesn't match the official records will result in the invalidation of the nomination papers. Candidates standing for presidents who are not the official heads of their sponsoring party must produce a confirmation letter signed by both President and the Secretary General and stating they've been sponsored by that party, in addition to the adoption certificate. And someone asked me, Ambassador, why have you named certain political parties? Let's start with UNIP. I mentioned UNIP, that UNIP is affected because you have President Trevor Mwamba and you have Kane Omuyova, and there's been internal wrangling, and some documents have been tampered at the Registrar of Societies. Trevor Mwamba has won in the High Court, but Kane Omuyova is sitting at the register, and I don't know if the Registrar of Society has complied. So you will have a problem. Either Trevor Mwamba, Bishop Trevor Mwamba, will stand as independent, not under UNIP, because it says the President and the Secretary General who appear at a Registrar of Societies are the ones to sign the adoption certificate. I'd mentioned NDC. Savoy Imboila on one side is a leader of the NDC. There are strangers that have held a conference. Remember, those that were under Joseph Akafumba, NDC used to belong to Chimbaka Mbwili, and Joseph Akafumba as vice president. And since 2021, there's been a split. One split went to the UPND in an alliance. Joseph Akafumba even became PS and has since been appointed as ambassador, is it to Nigeria or High Commissioner to Nigeria. That faction of his is the one taking advantage of Joseph Akafumba's presence at Ministry of Home Affairs. He ensured that he tampered with the records. Yet, Savoy Imboila, on one side, matters are in court, and they are not supposed to tamper with the records. But I noticed that in this case, Savoy Imboila has supported the Orange Alliance by Harry Kalava. But imagine if Savoy Imboila was standing, so there was going to be an issue. The group led by Joseph Akafumba, they've now elected another person who's leader there. You can Google, you can tell me in the notice. And then you have Savoy Imboila. Again, they're going to be affected by this rule that is now law in the Electoral Process Act. It has become an act President Hakainde Hichilema is expected to sign. I cited my own party, PF. So we have Patriotic Front being led by Makebi Zulu. But the records have been changed when Mao Sampa held that conference. And Mao Sampa and Robert Chabinga are the ones that were now, they replaced Edgar Lungu and others that were office bearers and replaced them with Robert Chabinga and Mao Sampa. So although Makebi Zulu is president of the Patriotic Front, that was left by Michael Sata, by Edgar Lungu, acting president given Lubinda, now Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu can't sign the certificates under Patriotic Front. Why? This rule says the President and Secretary General that appear at a Registrar of Societies are the ones to sign that document. It leaves me, we can Mao Sampa sign and the Secretary General Morgan Ngona sign, and let's say the two agree, but what we know is that they are also in separate camp. Morgan Ngona is with Robert Chabinga, who is claiming that he has fired Mao Sampa. Mao Sampa is saying, I have won in court and I'm the president, and there's even an injunction in Kabwe. So they have a candidate they've sponsored in Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, who today submitted the delegates of 1,000. Can Mao Sampa and Morgan Ngona sign an adoption certificate for Dr. Chitalu Chilufya? likely not, unless a miracle occurs, that Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, who's now being sponsored by Mao Sampa's faction, Mao Sampa alone, remember earlier they had said the certificate must be signed by President and Secretary General or Secretary General, but now in the rules they are saying the two, President and Secretary General must sign. So Dr. Chitalu Chilufya will be affected by this rule. Let's come to the FDD. FDD, we understand that there are issues where the Registrar of Societies has refused to update the records that Chifumu Banda held a general conference. And they've refused to amend the records to show that the leadership has moved from Edith Nawakwi to Chifumu Banda. So the records at Registrar of Societies are showing Edith Nawakwi and the previous Secretary General, while Chifumu Banda and is it Nathan Mulonga, who was Secretary General, the records have not been updated on the register to include them so that the two can sign for the Tonse Alliance leader, Brian Munduvile. I saw a lot of insults, but we just need to state the facts as they are. They help you prepare. So what will the FDD do? Like the case of the PF, the Tonse Alliance must be lucky. They have a lot of members, political parties that are in their alliance, and they can find a political party with a suitable president and secretary general that can sponsor their candidate, Brian Munduvile, into elections. Someone was even asking me just before I came on air. They said, but Brian Munduvile has paid under FDD, and yesterday he processed the 1,000 under FDD. But you are saying that the books at the Registrar of Societies may not contain Chifumu Banda and Nathan Mulonga as Secretary General and President. So can then Brian transfer the 1,000 supporter using another special purpose vehicle? I'm not a lawyer, so I will not answer that question, but I can just give you the information as it exists. When we warn that President Hakainde Hichilema is determined to exclude certain candidates, we are not speaking from without. He has ensured that the PF is disenfranchised. Unless a miracle happens, the PF will not be on the ballot. If Mao Sampai saw that he's juggling, will he stand in, he has left Munali, will he stand in Chawama, or will he stand in Roma, is in Lima, which is the other side of Matero, Lima. So he has said, will I stand in Lima or I'll stand in Chawama? Again, Mao Sampa will not stand under the PF, looking at the rules issued by ECZ and what contains the electoral process bill. He either has to stand as independent, or unless a miracle happens, there's an injunction coming up that Morgan Ngona obtained, is coming up on the 13th, unless it goes in his favor. But we have seen the process, that as soon as Morgan Ngona loses, and he's been losing, he still gets another injunction. So they put him in a cyclical manner. And remember, he has another injunction by Morgan Ngona in Kabwe that has not been discharged. I warned last Friday that what are we doing about this? I'm glad that Peter Sinkamba, of the Green Party, has taken up the matter in the Constitutional Court to challenge these provisions. Because before Mwangala Zalomis, anyone could sign, whoever the party appointed could sign the adoption certificates. Whoever. Presidents are too busy, they never signed the adoption certificates. This rule only came in 2023, when they started targeting the Patriotic Front. We cried, people didn't pay attention to us. We warned, we stated, I think we even went to court, that Mwangala Zalomis's action were illegal. In the past 60 years, any member that the party had assigned could sign the adoption certificates. Imagine the hassle of, let's take President Hakainde Hichilema. His president is too busy. There are 1,875 adoption certificates he has to do for councillors. There are 226 parliamentary seats he has to sign. There are 116 district council elections, either mayor or council chairperson, that he has to sign. Imagine 1,875 plus 226 plus 116, and then he has to sign his adoption certificate himself. Imagine the president signing over 2,300 certificates. That's what these presidential candidates have been put through. And all these schemes, when we challenge Mwangala Zalomis that it was illegal, she has ensured that she puts this regulation in the law to validate what she was doing against the PF, but also to disenfranchise certain presidential candidates. Atua leta pabwingi tonaula. The lines are open. Let me hear from you.
Tube serious. No abantu balebi bepo ufukwe bachawe ifo kuchibuluma twarubana bayo mpita tuishi boko beminine nete chimbe UPND na imo kwate niko oja. Kwate niko oja. Ifwe waba PF. But PF, epo batu nyonga. Kuni bene Chabinga na abanyankwe. Tatu wabiki, tatu tube down. Ifwe tulichibanda cha green. Weza mulefu wala ta mulefu haya. Weza shirema shani. Ukuya kwena wale? Ini wamu kumani. Ega na bala nyama sendele chipepa cha PF.
The cyber security bill. Nga uyu munyamata saina wakalipe kusaina nizi wakuna kusaina inkale longa sana saina kudala. One of the first laws we are going to reverse is the media, is the cyber security bill. We shall reverse it. Kuna muleke kusebenza internet, Facebook. This is a modern technology which we want to use, right, to deliver medicines in hospitals and consultancy. A doctor is seated in Lusaka, is consulting to help a patient in Kaputa through social media, through the electronic media. How can we shut and restrict such beautiful services? Kungono kuti bakunyengerere mubavote ranso muvotika another 5 years. Ngabaisa ba PF bakupelaka 1 pin. Walanda boy ninkwatama votes abengi mungani. Mpereni 5 pin. Ngakupela 5 pin wabika mutumba waloleshana.
The calendar. I forgot to speak about the calendar of events. Remember, about 44 candidates appeared presidential candidates appeared at the stakeholders meeting called by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Of the 44 that appeared, 26 paid. And we expect that people will be falling out. Sorry, the phone was off. You can call. I'm switching it on now. So here is the calendar. Yesterday on Monday, the ECZ gave Howard Kunda of the Zambia Wake Up Party, Zawapa, 9 hours to file in, to bring the 1,000 supporters. And Charles Chanda of the United Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia. Kelvin Fubebwalia was also given Zambia Must Prosper. Brian Muntayalwa Munduwile, Forum for Democracy and Development, FDD. Mr. Given Mwenya Chansa, Movement for Economic Emancipation. And Professor Daniel Chivale Pule. Of these from yesterday, we understand Zambia Wake Up Party, Mr. Howard Kunda did not succeed. Charles Chanda succeeded. Remember, I saw news reports which are showing that if you are filed in Lusaka, therefore you filed successfully. No, the number ECZ is looking for is 1,000. So you file in Lusaka 100, you file in Ndola 100, you file in Mansa 100, you file in Kasama 100, you file in Chinsali 100, you file in Chipata 100, you file in Solwezi 100, you file in Mongu 100, you file in Kabwe 100, you file in Choma 100. Then you will have filed in successfully. You will have presented the 1,000 supporters successfully. The law is very clear. It wants political parties to have a provincial presence. Remember, we've been condemning that political parties are regional, are tribally inclined. Some political parties are only strong in one area. The purpose of the Constitution was to force political parties to have a nationwide character. So it does not mean that if you have successfully brought 100 people in Lusaka, therefore you have presented the 1,000 supporters successfully. The process has to be simultaneous. At the same time, when you bring your 100 in Lusaka, you have to present the other 100 in the other 9 provinces, 100 in the other provincial centers. So I cannot here at this stage say these have filed in successfully because we saw that they succeeded in Lusaka. Did they succeed in Choma? Did they succeed in Mongo? Did they succeed in Solwezi? Did they succeed in Chipata? Did they succeed in Chinsali? Did they succeed in Kasama? Did they succeed in Kabwe? That's a question to ask. But I saw news reports were even saying, I have successfully filed. You are misleading Abantu base. Let us wait for ECZ or from the candidates themselves. That should tell us that of the 1,000, I have filed across the country. But for Lusaka, I'll speak for Lusaka because this is where the media was focused. But I'm just putting context to the misreporting of issues. So Charles Chanda managed to bring to Lusaka, like I'm saying, I don't know about other provinces. Brian Munduwile succeeded. Given Mwenyachan's movement for economic emancipation, it didn't succeed in Lusaka. And Daniel Chivalepule, Christian Democratic Party, didn't succeed. So from yesterday's program, we may speculate until ECZ gives us the official information, is that Howard Kunda, given Mwenyachansa and Professor Daniel Chivalepule may have fallen out. And I'm using the word may for accuracy. Today, on Tuesday, Harry Kalawa presented the 100 Citizen First. Enoch Roosevelt Tonga, I think he didn't. Sebastian Copeland, he was coming as an independent. He is not filing. Remember what I told you about People's Party that has 2 candidates, where there was a faction that rose, had a conference and amended the records against Dr. Sebastian Copeland. So Dr. Sebastian Copeland here was coming like an independent. And Francis Mandona Mwape from People's Party, he didn't turn up. Both Dr. Sebastian Copeland and Francis Mandona Mwape are from the same institution, but are affected by what is happening at Registrar of Societies. And Kasonde Mwenda, we hope that ECZ will slot him because he's been detained in the last 10 days and the police are not releasing him. They whisked him to Chinsali. The family even raised the alarm because they didn't know where he was. And then Dr. Chitalo Chilufya, he presented the 100. We saw Charity Katongo announce and Edwin Lifwekelo announce that the faction of this Patriotic Front had presented the 100 supporters for Dr. Chitalo Chilufya. And like I'm saying, this is only from Lusaka. The law requires that you present 1,000 and 100 in each province. tomorrow, Wednesday, 13th May 2026, we are going to have Chanda Katotowe, who's being sponsored by the Patriots for Economic Progress, Sean Tembo's political party. They'll be going at 9 hours. We have Kafula Mubanga from Development People's Party, DPP, is coming in at 10 hours. We have Dr. Richard Silumbe, who's coming in for Leadership Movement Party at 11 hours. We have Dr. Fred Membe, Socialist Party, who's coming in at 13 hours. And then we have Moses Mawere, Exodus Party for Peace and Prosperity at 15 hours. But remember, Moses was on our program on Friday, and he announced to the country on Saturday, he announced to the country that he had withdrawn, and himself, his political party, Exodus Party for Peace and Prosperity, and his alliance will join Harry Kalava and will support Harry Kalava. So this Moses Mawele will likely fall out. Then on Thursday, 14th May, because this is for tomorrow, Wednesday, on Thursday, 14th May, we are going to have Makebi Zulu from the Resolute Party. Is being, the PF Pamozi Alliance, looking at the issues around the Patriotic Front, entered into alliances. The first alliance, they picked a special purpose vehicle, which was NCP, led by Peter Chanda. And PF started using NCP and even warned Petauke. When there were issues around NCP following the demise of the late president and Pastor Chanda began to issue irregular statements, the party decided as an alliance, as Tonse Alliance at the time, to pick another special purpose vehicle. So it picked FDD to stand in Kasama and Chawama. Then there have been issues between Tonse and the PF because Tonse purported to have expelled the Patriotic Front. So the Patriotic Front under Given Lubinda then said, got a faction of the PF, that the alliance that was in, that differed with the Tonse Alliance, and they formed PF Pamozi Alliance, now headed by Makebi Zulu. That alliance has picked Resolute Party as its special purpose vehicle, the way they did with FDD and the way they did with NCP. So Makebi Zulu will come at 11 hours. Independent candidate, Reverend Dr. Given Katuta, she's standing as an independent and she's MP for Chiengi. She'll come at 13 hours. Xavier Franklin Chikonkolo Chungu. This is a former spy chief. Remember when we discussed last time? I'm looking for his number. I used to have his number and I don't have it. I want him to come to this program and explain to you why he's standing. But Xavier Franklin Chikonkolo Chungu, former Director General of the Intelligence under the late president for 10 years, is standing under Liberal Democratic Party and is expected to take his supporters at 10 hours on Thursday. Wheeler Joseph Mdolo, remember, he's been trying to stand under the PF when the PF held its conference. He lost that election or withdrew at the last minute that he would not participate in a no-name conference, but he was in the ballot. So he lost. He went to the Mao Sampa faction that appointed him as member of the Central Committee. But we saw that he has paid the 100,000 kwacha. He has issues with the courts in South Africa that continues to hold his passport. Unless there is a breakthrough there, Joseph William Dolo is expected to file on Thursday. Yes, someone is saying, what case does William Dolo has? Remember, it's an odd case. Him and his wife were charged with money laundering issues. They were like financial advisors to Prophet Shepard Bushiri. So there have been those two cases. Shepard Bushiri fled to Malawi. Then they confiscated the passport of his co-accused, who is Joseph William Dolo. And he had breakthrough last week. The High Court ordered that public prosecutor must proceed with charging him and prosecuting him for those charges, but they've had this passport since 2020. So unless there's something dramatic and Joseph William Dolo is given the passport, and if he has, he usually listens to this program. My brother, if the court have given you a passport, you can call me and confirm so that we can confirm to your supporters, because you are filing in, it looks like you're filing in, you haven't named the political party to be advised. That's what ECZ has put here. Then we have Dr. Brian Mushimba, former Minister of Works and Supply, former Minister of Energy, he's former Kankoyo MP, is standing under Organized People's Party. So he's supposed to present 100 at 15 hours. The 1,000, we should be very clear, because people think it's just bringing the 100 to Lusaka. You have to present the 1,000 across the country. Then on 15th May, which will be the last day, Dr. Richwa Siamnene, former defense minister and former MP, has a new party called New Focus Party, and is expected to file on Friday at 9 hours. Then we have Pastor Peter Chanda of NCP, is expected to file at 11 hours. We have Bishop Mr. Trevor Musonda Mwamba. I told you the story of UNIP. Even here, UNIP is not appearing. ECZ says to be advised under which political party will stand. They've given him 13 hours. Then President Hakainde Hichilema will close the submission of the 1,000 people at 15 hours. The lines are open. Today is People's Forum. We've been discussing dissolution of parliament and the terrible laws that have been passed and the legacy. What is the legacy of Nelly Muti and this past parliament? You can give us a view. The electoral process and the rules by ECZ and the Electoral Process Act, that is targeting political parties using registrar of societies in an attempt to disenfranchise certain candidates. And the last matter I've just discussed, those that are filing and have not filed. There were 44 presidential candidates that appeared at the meeting, stakeholders meeting. Then of the 44, 26 paid. Of the 26, people have fallen out already from here. Those are the three items we are discussing. You can call and we will hear from you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contributions.
Hello, I'll remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Well, we can only pray for Zambia. I think quite a lot of things are happening that have never happened, even in places like Congo or whatever. I don't know what we're becoming. I think we're really becoming a banana republic. These laws that are being passed are just to disadvantage the opposition, really. People not being able to express themselves. We can only pray, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. We really need to pray. And hopefully there will be no chance to rig, because obviously the ruling party is afraid because they know that they've got no stand, no place. And just hoping that it all goes well, no rigging, because really 13th August, we need to kick the UPND out of power. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen, amen, amen. The lines are open. Let's hear from you. Begin to call. Let's hear from you. The lines are open. We are discussing those issues, and I want to hear your views. Call on the line and let's begin the debate.
Mabanja onanjala mkomo ndalama zonse mutumbalano masukwa kuchuluka pa mutupatu. Time is up. When you're going, not enough. Time is up. For your lies and bluff. Time is up. When you're going, not enough. Time is up. For your lies and bluff. Kanizanu ndizo panda pindu. Anakulira mise umwatu. ndikufuna chilengedwe chatsopano osati mapocket anu opindika ndalama. Listen to the
Hello, my dear sister. Good day and welcome to today's program.
This is Queen Pumi.
Queen Pumi, thank you very much. Are you following the debate?
Yes, I am.
Let's hear from you, my dear sister.
Oh my God. You know, I am just like, I don't even know what to, I'm like in dreaming, like Trimuchiloto. It's like really, it's so unfortunate, but all I can say is we are bringing back slave laws. You know, for America, that law was here in the slave days where the three people, you have to get a permit. We used to laugh because I worked in corporate America over 20 years here. So like we would meet at the coffee station in Gatwakumana, three black people, then we would always make this joke like, hey, we have to disperse. It's three black people here that we are planning something evil. So it's a running joke, but this is the reality of how people lived here in the United States for so many years. And in Zambia, I think, and now in 2026 to have this law into law is like, wow. But anyway, there's always a good side of something. Thank God there's social media. So let's take advantage of social media. So with this law, I don't even think there will be any public rallies for these political parties to campaign. They will make it very difficult. There have been no campaigns in the country in the last 5 years. So this is just actually cementing any hopes of us meeting background in form of rallies. But the other option people can do is door to door. It will be safe. Okuko today abantu afiro kulenda ma group. So nangu mulechita door to door campaigns mulenda batatu. Use the maximum number. We can still take advantage of whatever we are allowed to do. But it's just sad. And then obviously virtually Team MZ8, we have to intensify our campaigns online. They have no jurisdiction there. They don't own the internet. They don't buy our phones. They don't buy our gadgets. They don't buy our stock time. So let us maximize the internet, especially TikTok, because I know Facebook could manipulate, but TikTok is a site where they cannot interfere with the network. So we have to ask Zambians to all go on TikTok. Yes.
Thank you.
But it's just like a sad state of affairs. And finally, I just want to say that, you know what, they can make laws, but they cannot make laws kulilesa. So are they going to change the Bible? These are only human laws they are making to they are making human laws to oppress Zambians. But Zambians, we are free because we are Christians. We believe in Christ our Savior, and we believe that Christ will fight this battle for us. Even if they are using these laws, God is above every law. Are they going to heaven and change the laws to oppress us? No. You know, we don't know what tomorrow may bring. So they can make these laws, but let us have hope as Christians to say, God is with us. Even Vanelli Muti, the Zambia police, tomorrow is never known. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Queen Pumi. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Emmanuel Mwamba.
Good evening.
This is Anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to give credit to this program. And this year's election, I think the 11th province are really helping us. And a lot of people are doubting to say social media is not making any impact. I can assure you, Ambassador, that people, even in the villages, they gather. I've taken time to move around Zambia. People, they gather to listen to these programs. And the good part of these programs is that even if you miss them, at your own time, you are able to follow through. So what would decide how people get the information? It is the social media. Even if there is no gathering, I can assure you that people are just quiet because of these bills, laws that have been passed against the Zambian people. The time has come also for people of Zambia to be alive to the reality. In 2021, people wanted change. And sometimes God allows things to happen in this manner so that you are able to see the kind of mistake that you would have made as a country. We have made a mistake in that we've gone backwards. What we thought could actually change our country has now put us in problems. What do we need to do? We have been crying for the opposition to unite. I know it has been very difficult even for them to come together because there is machination that is happening. There is a lot of mingarato happening. So even them, they are confused. They are political leaders, they are political parties, but they are also afraid. Just like Zambians are afraid to even make a call here. It's very difficult. But the thing here is, if we allowed just one or two opposition parties to go through, I don't think the ruling party will fight that individual. So with the few days that are remaining, I appeal to the opposition is that do some sort of mingarato, meet somewhere, come together, agree on one person, and now move as a team. Because what we have here is to fight for the country. It's not personal ambitions. This is the country that we are fighting for. So we need one front to go in, and that is the person that the Zambian people will vote for. But if we go as many as we can, you find that some will be disqualified, and only weaker opponents will be around. But we need one person, two people that are strong, and when they pull through, those are the people that we should go for. I can assure you, things happen like this, and sometimes it may look dark. I believe in the God that I serve. Our living God is not dead. He makes a way where there seems to be no way. So Zambians, we do not need to fight each other. We need to be united, including those that are in the UPND. Sit down, find out what people are complaining about. Verify the facts. If the facts are genuine, please make a decision for the betterment of our country, Zambia. We have our children that will come and also live in this world. We have also unborn children. We need to build a Zambia that will benefit everyone. My appeal to all the Zambian people is be listening to these programs. Be alert. Get the facts. Do not just be praisers. No. Sit down and reflect. Get the facts and make the right decision at the right time. The time is not with us. You opposition, we send you to help us as a country. Forget about positions. Now it's about the entire Zambia. Help us, and indeed, Zambia shall be restored.
Thank you.
God is upon our country, Zambia. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Alex.
Alex, make your contribution.
Yeah, it's a very sad day for the country. The country that has enjoyed a lot of freedom on airspace, on freedom to gather, and all those things. It's indeed a very sad moment for the country. But God always has his own way. Right now, there are all these things, which we know very well that the opposition being given the right or the permission to gather. So, speaking to all the oppositions, this is a time that they should make sure that they have gadgets. I don't know how they'll do it, but they have to invest into this system so that people can be covered. Like what the previous callers just mentioned, people are listening to these programs. The opposition should intensify, invest, that people should make sure hear them. In my view, if these things work, they will even cater one program, caters everybody. I know people are used of one-to-one, but trust me, this can also be a game changer. Coming to these laws, Ambassador, if you remember very well, the law of precedent of crime, may so rest in peace, the Vice President George Kunda warned the PF about this bill. And today this bill has really haunted the PF. For those who don't know, George Kunda, when he was the Vice President, will come and eat you. And today, these bills have eaten those that voted for them. And these bills, they will come and eat the UPND. Trust me, unless God is not there. So, as much as it may be a better pill to swallow, but we believe in God, that God one day will shall save us. And this time is now. But also, Ambassador, to you directly, because you are speaking to the masses. Trust me, you are here in the evenings. You go to my barber shop. Right now, I'm gonna I'll find people gathering at my shop, hearing to you, paying attention. By my phone, just here watching this program. I was of the idea that maybe going forward, because even you have lost the Bemba that you used to know. May you please start speaking Bemba so that you can cater many other people.
Tinala vechibemba ine. Ichinyanja vyechinga nshupa. But you have a point, yeah. You have a point. Yeah, thank you, Alex. Thank you. Atulande chibemba ini pantwabale umfwa wafula. That's a good point. Very, very good point. Many people have expressed sadness, not shock, but sadness at this terrible law that has just passed. My dear brother, Father Pombo Mwansa has also expressed concern around this bill. Let's just listen to him.
Hello, colleagues. I was reading on the proposal, listening also to Parliament, the proposed bill, which the Public Order Act bill, which now restricts the gathering to maximum 3 people at a time. And more than 3 people needs the permission of the police officers. I was doing some research and I went back in the United States, especially the town of New York, in the year 1600. You get the information, I think, in the year 1600, or you go up to 1702 or 1730s. That time, 1600, 1702 or 1730s, there was a law called the Slave Act, or the Black Act law, which restricted the gathering of slaves. Slaves, they are affiliated, but it was specifically to curtail the gathering of black slaves. So their meetings could not exceed 3 people at a time, unless they had the presence of a white person, or unless they had the permission from the police officers. That was the act of curtailing the slaves, the black slaves in the United States, specifically in New York. Now, if this is going to be a bill, I think we need to talk about it. And gentlemen, this is 2026. Years and years have passed. Countries have learned from the evil act of slavery. Recently, Ghana has won a case where they have said that slavery was the worst act of humanity ever happened in history. Slavery. It's Ghana, the country of Ghana. The responsibility, the authorities in Ghana have won an international case where slavery has been acknowledged as the worst act of crime in the history of humanity, slavery. And now, if Ghana's won this case, our country, how can our country really enact a bill which takes us back to the years 1600 or the years 1702 or 1730? I ask you to reflect on this bill, colleagues, and our leadership. We are asking our leadership to refuse this bill.
That bill is now law. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Natotela, good evening, Vamamba.
Good evening.
Mkwai kenfe mishale mu nshirumbulo kabiri po tofikire mchalo.
Mkwai.
Itsakubalila pofi. Chakutila. Ababa lesu ishibalela ndati soti sana. Befuile baishiba. Ilo bale mfokwe bati yosoti. Bale bika pafironda fiawe na Zambia. Elio ngakwali bechi kalipa sana kubula soti mwabika pachironda. Beshi bakutila ayama funde bale pishefi kwati chakwa ngala. Filonda efyo bachena abena Zambia efyo bale bachena. Elio kabiri na load shedding into twapitilemu. Beshi bakwe bati nafyo filonda. Elio nomba mukulekeresha baisa bika posoti. Elio batwaliriro kubika posoti. Abena Zambia balalanda kwa shala panono. Bamwamba ndefo kulanda kuri ba opposition. Ba opposition mwishi bakwe bati tamwaka ivotele. Fwe bakavota ni fwe bena Zambia fwe bafulile. Imwenga twami kolonganika mulifyaka pukutu abantu abanono. So ifo fwe bakavota ngatwamye bati beni chapamo muipange fitala. Limbi mutwebe ama political party yenu kwali babambya bachita sponsor bateti bamisuminishe mu kusankana n'abaneno. Apa epo twala mwena nomba umuntu uchita mean well for the people of this nation. Ngachakwe bafyokwe bati ni mwebo abantu abali mu opposition muri ntunguru shishifwayo kutungulula abantu bwino no kulubula Zambia. Mumfu okulira kwa abantu. Bantu bambi mukashala mufilamba ilio mukapona. Elo bakambo kumikonka kuli ububwino obuteko. Bambi mukabolela mufifungo. So abena Zambia ngabalira kolongane ni mube chapa mumfu eni muipange filumba. Bantu imonga mwakwate chirumba mumutima mukapona. Elio ububwino obuteko bukabwekela. Kanshi na imonga mulefu omutende nga chachine na mmona tifintu tafiri bwino. Chiteni unite fwe bakavota ni fwe te imwe mukavota ni fwebo. Elio nomba twamye bati chiteni unite mwambi okulatarikana no kusontane mino. Chirefwaya nande fingi. But ndemi chitashuo kwe bati chino echalonga twaikale fine. Tulino kupokelele fintu fikaba west than ifyo tulekwa tokupita mukanshi nishita kwe bati abena Zambia babuke ayama funde mumonelwe funde bare chitarupiyo diari mu 1955 ili wabasungu bale steka nomba katuishi batu wekesha mu 1902 ilo nabasungu tabala isokula tuwekesha kunuma. So na tuime fwe bena Zambia ne urelanda ninebo youth chanso ni sana elio tulelo mbafyo no bwerero ba youth pafyo twachitire kuli momwe bafyashi ngamwa mwana population ya Zambia fwe yababa fula ma youths elio na ba mayo fwe bana mayo women. So bala taking advantage kuli fwe ba youth bakutira tuwe influence tuka vote nomba lekeni miebechi mukulekeresho kutira ba youth bali aba votele last time na ba youth bala vota ino ishitana abapusana icha abapusanya fintu baba pishamo. We over expected, we overrated the big man. nomba pana tuimwena ukusushe lungu kwenda mo neri lungu na tuyendela mo 13th August wala befyala chinja muri kino kyalo ba opposition isenfe chapa mo no kwikatana na totera ba mwamba.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contributions.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. Sinyangwe Danny on the line.
Yes,
first and foremost, Bamwamba, we want to thank you because Bamwamba imwe mwila muna tu lilo mwafumira ku Zambia yali amapalo ya kwalesa. Bamwamba, your program is a voice for Zambians. Without you, Bamwamba, I don't know what Zambians would have been doing. Bamwamba, you are a blessing. Bamwamba tule pepa kulilesa lesale mpela maka aya kulanda na abantu. Bamwamba ni mwe unomba twakalaisa. Defino feba Queen Pumi wachilalanda. Social media nomba, it is our tool. We need to galvanize ourselves. We need to energize ourselves. Because Bamwamba, without you and many other people that are going to have this time and that those that are listening, we will not have a Zambia if we vote these people back into power. Bamwamba filefino fioba kaunda balandile. We are now seeing it. Bamwamba, the 5 years of these MPs that we have in parliament is a shame. It's a shame to the people that elected this kind of MPs. And these elections is not about electing MPs. It's about electing and making Zambia a better Zambia for all. Not because me, if I vote for Bill 7, me and my family. Mwamba. Apanomba Mwamba tie ni tumone tuombele chapa mwa Zambians. For me, I'll come out openly. If you look at all the candidates that we are voting for, Ine Wandi Makebi Zulu, Joshua, and the David of Zambia. Let's now see, because Ababantu Bamwamba 5 years they have failed to deliver on anything good for Zambia, but they have come to destroy. Mwema Zambians once muleo mfuatie nitumone ofetwala chitapa 13th August. Thank you, Bamwambale Salem Pala. God bless Zambia.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words, my brother. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution.
Yeah, good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Alfred calling from Saga.
My brother, make your contribution.
Thank you so much. You know, Baaka inde nibampelembe chibula matui. Ngamwana nibadatwe batichinkula. Nibampelembe chibula kutabomfa kubantu. So no kuchita pio kulibena to change anything, that man can't change. Can't change. And if you reflect on parliament, it's so sad. It's so sad for Zambia. And this shows us that in 2021, we sent a bunch of useless people to parliament. And right now, our nominations are ongoing in different political parties. Let's choose people who can't sell this country over a bowl of soup. The birthright of this country, they have sold it over a bowl of soup. Let's choose people with integrity. Okay? Parliament is serious business. You know, everything that happens in this country depends on the legislature. They legislate the law, which regulates how the executive is going to govern this country, and which goes now to the judiciary for interpretation and passing judgment and laws. So parliament is a serious business. Nowadays, even a German judge wants to go to parliament because of gratuity and the $120,000 for a vehicle, GVX. And this time around, let's look at the people we are sending to parliament. Parliament, that's not a circus. We have turned parliament into a circus, and now they're just passing laws without thinking twice. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Mwamba. My name is Uncle J.
Uncle J, make your contributions.
so much. To start with, we want to put it on record that for the very first time in the history of Zambia, it should be recorded that since 2021 to 2026, we've had the most useless parliament, the most unreasonable, biased, politically inclined Speaker of the National Assembly. These people that thought that power can be monopolized and be abused for personal gain, one day they'll stand to respond to the questions of the Zambian people. These people have let the country down. They have participated in the destruction of democracy in Zambia without shame. They have sold this country to the highest bidder without shame, without thinking of what will happen in the future. They have behaved like people that do not care. Since when, in our country, did we ever have bills, 75 bills for God's sake, being passed? Were they just reading, or we had this bill, let us pass it, and they vote without scrutinizing anything? What a shame, what a shame. UPND will be recorded as a party that destroyed the country, and there'll be nothing good to remember about them. Whatever you do today, be rest assured that tomorrow there will be a response. Zambians, in conclusion, we are not foolish as Zambians. We are alert. We are alert. The youths are alert. The old women and men are alert. They understand. You may push your agenda using your power, but it will never work. I thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Today we are hosting People's Forum. Please call. We are discussing 3 issues. The electoral process, Parliament comes to an end, and the presentation, the schedule that has been released by ECZ to pre-process presidential supporters in the provincial centers. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and make your contributions. Anonymous, make your contribution.
First, Dr. Tera, I support the certain caller who said na kwali abambia kumyafundisha kwa translate na muri ambia languages muri program so that maana batata mwaputa kuchipata ku Eastern Province na ku Western Province na Southern Province aba bakumfefe tumlela ndapo na bante fale ilishanje chawa masana chimbi wa mwamba aba bantu especially abantu bafumile ku PF abalechite ndefya msanwefu abantu ni bayuda Iscariot hello beshu kwati bakula flag Yesu bayibika punch pandu chawo chawo chakusebana mufinte febalechita yakwaba opotwa ikalira from 1991 hello democracy yambire kumana ku ifinte feture mu parliament ba speaker balebye bakwati ebana kashi batale tontonga yapona future y'abantu bambi yoyo ale tontonga yafipali bena beka ero umuntu uleba bomfya ala bomfya ena na kwatana immunity but bayukushuku yobatishero ikesa Africa akwa kabekulanda ati yo berere niyo tukalala leta nokubatwala pachiki nokumona ati abantu bakasuke brefi barechita zam turepitam but again tukwate na 1991 tatwakweta amafoni abantu campaigning yali yakwaya namba transport yali ayindi pali ibyenshita ati bantu bachise manage ukuchinja kwisa ku democracy 1991 chiro basenda na papeni mutu nono mutu kwete na tukwata na mafoni na machinshi tukalachita campaign okupitira muna mwine lesaka tulubula pali inonshita lekeni bachite fare chita but mu future abaana baabo n'ab'enshikulu baabo tukala abalemba n'okubeera basho bakitire bawishiwo era bali pesa mbali acha ndifo bashire baonawo lekyanga totera bamwe.
Thank you very much. Please call. Let's hear your voice. I've got another caller already waiting here. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
This is Dr. K calling you from Lusaka.
Dr. K, make your contributions.
Yeah, Ambassador, I think the issues that you have brought out today are quite important, and you have been warning us time and time again to make sure that we put things in place, because when it comes to rigging does not happen on the actual day when you are voting, but it starts as a process. Emmanuel, the bills that have been passed in a rush, 74 bills passing through Parliament. As citizens, we have not been consulted. We have not participated, to review those bills, at least to give us a chance to say one or two things. And the worst of it is that one which has replaced the Public Order Act. I think we expected better than what is being passed in Parliament. This Parliament, Ambassador, it will go in history as the most, to us, as the most embarrassing, the most, I don't know what word I can use, my man, but I'm at pain to see the things that have been done in that Parliament. Our MPs have not represented the Zambian people. We sent them to Parliament to represent us and not to, go there for selfish reasons. It's very, very embarrassing, actually, to even say, that I'm a Zambian and this is our Parliament. It's so embarrassing. So, by Mano Mamba, I'm expecting the second independence to come pretty soon, 13th of August. That second independence will come, and I expect the next president to begin judicial reforms so that we can do away with some of these laws and bills that have been passed, which are against the Zambian people. They are just there to, just pamper, the politicians. We need bills that will be able to safeguard the lives of the Zambian people. Thank you so much, Ambassador, and good night.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador. This is Mama T.
Mama T, make your contribution.
Yes, Mamba. Program Mareta Isumasana. Greetings to all the callers. Mamba, not Monefingi. Parliament, Second Parliament, finally, it has come to an end. So, number. Nango ababe na supporter, abade supporter. 74 bills being passed in 8 days. What was the rush? If you have any questions for Vena Zambia to feel it, why pusher? We saw what was happening in the Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament was always biased. Kuri ba opposition takwale bomuchishi, but kuri bena. Natumona efyo baresta promise ba kaindo kwa bati nenga naisa auru by the rule of law, but we saw what happened with the Bill 7, even against our wishes as the citizens of this nation. They never listened. They passed the Bill 7 in Parliament without even consulting for Bantu. Ama MPs, Abama Rebos, Abastide defect. Still, they were still, voting, passing bills together with the UPND MPs, abrogating the law, the Constitution of Zambia. They don't care as long as it suits them. Meaning that If otatkwete to kuribe na nangula panono, as long as they remain in power, by all means they will do anything. So number na tumona fionte fia TikTok from Mopoba sendera power from the PF government. If you ask them, they will tell you to say no, we brought free education. Free education ya boyonga wai shabu ino curriculum bali chinja, and then teachers do not even have the materials. And if you check the books of abana babe n'abayakuli free education, you find that tapali free chitika, meaning that education ibaireta panshi ni ababe ni abantu bamubene, and then abantu bamubene aba n'abatusunga mu nfinfi for 4 years. We were in the dark, we had no power. Suddenly the power comes back. No one is even asking questions to say, why were we being load shedded for 4 years? Why is it that we were in the dark for 4 years? We should ask ourselves those questions. Apabare nyengerera balefo kwe bati baba votere. So if we want to twikatshanye background palife buino na beshi banabene tapali abare bafwaya. Echo bale pisha ma bills ya 74 aya bulo kuishibika buino. Yo 3 people should not gather, they should have a permit. Marifi umfwa po efya ifyo. Ni kuisoko fya chitikapo efya ifyo. Twalikuwa tama families mno Zambia, others have given birth to 10 children. And then if they have a meeting, they should go and get a permit 3 days before even meeting as a family. What kind of nonsense is that? If you're these people are desperate for power. Why are they desperate for power?
Thank you, my dear sister.
Ba UPND takwaruwa bachingire nanguwana ayoye na malamulo twakwete kuyisizede malamulo tufuire twabonfya nga balefo okuchinja efintu bafuire bashita consult ama stakeholders notukula chinja efintu ukwabula okushita consult ama stakeholders. It is wrong. Let us stand up for this country. Let us vote this government out of power so that tulubuke.
Thank you.
Rights ayoto adishiba yali pitana takuli fire moneka bambi yo takuli na shani wakasonde mwendabo bali kuchifungo bati bambi akwa ma containers 61 containers ya medicines tatwala ba fyonsoko fyaba tabalebeka tabali free. Uyo ambassador wa kwa America alilanda fyonse. Very disappointed with this government. Thank you so much. Baba.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you. Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
My name is Anonymous in Kaputa.
Mkwaimayo kwa Kaputa landeni po.
Mkwaitwa mposha wonsa wena Zambia konsoko muli kumulela ngulukire mikalire yesu mno Zambia fe alava. No uteko twavotere mu Kirumba. Ati ba PF kabiye ni fya bipisha chachi ni fya bipire nomba. Tensambu ya kutirere wapya na pabufumu pantule mfumu imbita ya kwete mano sana. Tayale pela. Nishi iwe ubipe uleva ubefye utawa ipeme ni abantu. Kanofe iwe wine uleva potafi. Moneni. Ifilu mwomu uteko wonsi filu mwe balelanda pa wonsi mwe balanda pa na pambi pamila basa imbi. Filu fingi fya kweba tiba kwate na 1 vote ba hakainde abela Zambia abali kuntanshi ngaba ama opposition leaders. Konso koko mulimwe ma opposition leaders ba membe ba KPF ba Kalaba ba Chala Kateka ba Makebi Zulu na bambi kona papata na lomba mwishira ya mfumu Yesu Kristu. Ifi fyonse kwebela Zambia tulelanda bina Zambia abasangirira bengi balelanda isi amafunde mu cyalo ba munana kufyalo kumbyuko baya tayachinjishwa omusango oyo na ngveli ifunde lya mumushi pakutila imfumu ile pela abantu kya kumulasa ukwema tibaye bomba kwibala lya mfumu imfumu tayishibuka fe yaye bakabilo abantu baye mukundimine balelelo no imfumu ile kusha bakabilo bushe abantu bekereshani mumushi kuti baya bomba ko kuibala kumwandi wimulungu nangu lya mulungu abantu ati bakabilo bebe mfumu ati katwebe bashivitente the village headman tubepushe ama village headman bakumana timule munashani abati yona tukaye ulya mulungu 2 weeks in between bana mayo na bashibantu bachite donate if yakulya ngatwaisabwera kumulasa wa mfumu pachitente bepike. I grew up in a village. I used to see that a chief consulting his headman on how other fellow villagers will go and work in his field. Temi akeingi apitirire yakwibatishani hawi naliko muri kaunda naliko mu MMD ndiko na mu PF na mu MMD na panapo tuli so tekwebatisha munapo ishikuna limona. So now back to the meaning of that. Ba president hakainde amafunde 74 yonse bena baita bachilolo babu ba MP babu kunkunsheni ifi mu parliament bwangu bakati tukwate ensambu shakubwela mwebantu mwebekala chalo mwe basambira na fubonse fwe baboko twaba na fwe bashango napo ife totwamo napo ushita mule iruko kwebati aba bantu nabayishimina ukuti tabali chilunga minangu chimo progress nangu imo development nangu imo benga kwati lapo abale chinja na mashina yachi umusebo uyu katushinga musebo ngachibanza ni Godfrey Chitarwishina imyaka nemyaka hapo ba Zambian national football team bafuire mu 93-92 when aisa mkuchinja atiyoni Anderson Mazoka fish Anderson Mazoka ashile he started UPND well and good so kashi mwe ba UPND pakufuna yokuchita ono yumuntu lete nko project ya UPND ambefye ngamisebo mutulange ngafiba nsafyandeke mutulange ngamasukulu mutulange muitulange skulu ya free education bank like that produced by graduates nangu bamo nangu ba certificate or diploma holder nangu bamo ichilife ni ifofine school curriculum na ichinja but taikwete produce yet so teti mutu ulange ko ulambapo then if yonga mwachita elo mukambyo kwinika Anderson Mazoka elo mukambyo kwinika lili muti elo mukambyo kwinika HH noti imumwe na Zambia loreshe ukupwa umukamfu kwa yaba bantu tabakwete mu umukamfu tabakwete mu umukonkelelo ideba letira soti sana mujipingo soti baila ngati eileta bukuwama bamwamba mpele ni kwa kashana kambi soti ilete visuma bati bena soti balelunga ni pafyalu bana imwe umunani tautampire wino wiso mkubika pomu chere pampira tafilondoloka moneni ubaya chinjo omusebo acho uyu musebo ni HH Lumumba imwe bena Zambia nangfe kumitunduko mwafuma epakwini ko mwana amashina yabiri mukutira bambi abalume batonga bambi abakashi bakuchinsali elo mwayinika umwana limbi ni hatembo bwalya. But here we want to have a road called HH Lumumba mu Congolese na ifu HH mutonga wespano pa Zambia. So what's the correlation mwe bantu batsungutisha chala pangika pali HH and Lumumba tabakwete produce ba kwete nangu imwe yakutiba ilangile mu bulamba okwela ati ifo tushiteni ifi ncho twalaini kilo yumsebo o chichikulwa o togeti itili chose feature yose fake kuria ikala pa Zambia echo basha kwatira no muchinshu wa nani alignment ya chalo cha Zambia from ifyalo ne ifyalo paku ya join na nenkondo eshinesh pantu bela tabashona where they belong. They have no identity but if waidisha bifya kufaidisha awe na abafirwa no mbanangu ne abafirwa it's also a calling on imaba opposition leader was natural umbula machine monene nafwebe kala chalo natumona ukushura kwa yabantu but imwe akakatobenga mingisha ile fwebe na Zambia tukachulisha okukilamo kakweba titamwika tena pantushwali na kumushikumwesu uko nafuma takulu ifitenga balefwala bana mayo balelanda kufwala ne kitengena t-shirt ngavlabi ne ba kainde bale bika bo mumbele kolusi bale tukanda pono oluseda ati ule fwale kitenge upoke na prize pini batu kandi bafine no kefyo fidia bale fwale kitenge bale smina bana mayo but bale papa okutila ati ne ngufetilize bala ile myaka ne myaka ati ikaba 250 tapa bala pa ya 250 if anything takwa bana kukwatesa keja kumanina baka na patu beseni wantu bakwalesa ala nangu mwana uine mwaufya ilo mwale ufyo mwana wenu mwale usungirela mala ya tatu ilo mwale ufyo mwana wenu alefala canvas elo mwa ufya kulitata fiala umwana oyo nakakwembe kamubula umwana oyo na canvas yapwa nomba tampa tropical ukuya red ukuya yellow amuti mwali ufya that's why UPND ukisa bati bale miteka imwe mwanisepela ya afido kubavota bafirwa nokushika bwaka tenge akalipiwa akako bafirwa nokushika canvas aka red na ngwaka black ndamayo canvas yapwa nomba alafu ala tropical ya red ukuya yellow ati na aliubwa tefyo bafirwa kubomba ekikulu so abaala apususha ekintu kyonse pantu abena Zambia bose n'abapanda amanu n'abalanda pafiru bona tusumina but imwe ba opposition die to self ichefyeni bweshanyeni ukamilambula bamwimwe nilesa ukamilambula imwe bambi yakalambwira mu bana benu pera fyati bonse kana mutekala twa papa tapantu mfwe nifika kitika technology iba pangati chinshi cyber law bale fwaidisha no kwishiba amashi yesu kwa kaputa bale tufwaya kuno kwa kaputa ulepita atkwali bana mayo no ulandikisha sana kwa kaputa eko tuwa bapantu libene Zambia nifo ba citizen na mara social card yesu ya kwa kaputa so nomba tule tina no kupitana kwa kaputa kumweso munu saka kasonde mwenda na munu senda fie uko munu tueta tumushibi you did the same thing to JJ Banda nomba JJ Banda efintu alela ndamulekana no kusumina na bachimba kamwili bali landire atuko baba tuere kwa lifisoka it sounded like bachishimba bauluka na JJ Banda alianda tuko bamutwere kwa libefisoka so fishi mule kana ti free mason yiteo eko bwaba free mason mulo shibwa chisungu nomba mchina Africa muloshi so nga icho bale bombere chimobera Zambia wonse mwaitwa mukupepa mmayanda enu nabana benu pleading the blood of Jesus kulomba mlopa kwa Yesu pafipandwa nefipande fya chano cha Zambia na pabale iminina mwishina mfumu Yesu Kristo nani lomba ni mwaba opposition wonse imbomo mukatulubula kuli chintu otherwise bala wonse abaka kwapa bule milandu ine bakaka kwa filafini forever ero na ababonse abali kunse abalelanda ko bakala milunga ukumifuaisha tishani na shani kwakaputa twamikanya tamwakese ko ba UPND bakwakaputa mubefye bwino na koko ine mu report mube bwino amafunda yo mule Canada kuli kuno kukumana batatukano natupanga arrangement ngatule ufye omwana kashino mwa wametura kumana a family and friends more than 3 echo tukalea mkufa ila permit ya hukumana ngatule pangama church gatherings tunakumana more than 3 na bible yana ile tusumisha nokutila where 2 or 3 are gathered more than that elo chiba wino elo lesa asuko ukubapo elo imomo aiba titulepoke ensambo yakuyana ku bible study ichishi mlelosha mwalifulunganya na conference ya Sunday sinyangwe kuja but ba Freemason Institute yabo ile pangi kwa Livingstone tapali ulebe kata bawo ba president akainde we solution mwe fifintu na imwe ba MP ba parliament mwe ba le passing ya ma bills it's like munga ndana pilot kwaba tamulela lokutontonga nyokulala bwino mleshi buka we are going to pass that bill mula chinja ma laws like that mula chinja mwebene.
Thank you, my dear sister. They have a lot of cause, but our sister from Kaputa, sometimes I give her time because she, hello, hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and give us your contribution.
Hello, Mr. Mwamba.
Yes, please proceed to make your contribution.
This is Didi Ndola.
Did you make your contribution?
Not to push up. Kuri 78 bills. Iyo ya kuisa fumafini. Muma days. Atikwala abe fini. Ni problemu shipo ifona tukankamana na chipapa baba UPND. Mushekwa nanangu mwakwata ama power zinga yafurisha yalo na ule fintu. Ngaya furisha mapawa kipo kwa kuba nenu tefe chifuidi okuba chipampi kwa tukwete power day. Tati mwista mutampe kati. Abantu batatu mwananishitwa itata. Ni kwesa. Ngefishafu makula kwa my sister. Pantu kula boku ikala. Kwa kida kukala boku la kundaba. Kula ipo kalionsa mapemi kupantu fundela mzanda kufunda abantu. Bari kale mwaba kunda mwi family. Mwaita. Nishukuni poka permit poko 3 days. Ukupoka. Kwena chua. Nikumsatulia na ngukusula nenu. Awo kwena umusungu bamwamba umusungu tabipa. At last minute it's always dangerous. Last minute it's always dangerous. Wali kwete sana aba. Sio msefuna yobala ili abantu. Ubungo okubwesha. Utraizo okubwesha. Mukalaja, mukalaupana. Inama chikachipa mubucha. Alabari solo bweli otuntutu. Njukulaenda na tu salad na tu sugar. Inushitanga mwasanga katiba kawanu kwa chaba mwamba. Kwa kupapa. Nakalabale imikati. Nomba fyose bafiro okufibomba ekishele kufitwala mumba kuli bill muma 78 bills ishi mwala kamina abantu kamuteki Nisha abantu balufyenye. Abamipere bitatu. Nishi balufyenye. Chishi chiruvene. Benu abamwamba. Ukuchitalesa lesa alalunga. Panilesa ale bachita expose. Lesa ngoli ule sana ola fisama. Alatampo kukuleta leta mpaka bakuikata. So ababene fe bale expose bene fe bekatifwe na tuluvana. Apana pa mutumone, apana pa mutumone. Mukachita expect abantu kwa mvota kama luzu mfumishe. Kuna kwenda mukachita expect abantu kwa mvota imwe. Ba opposition nikataneni. Yose tulelanda kuma radio. Kwalo bale muloko ati ilo tulelanda tatuenda na pasi tukita campaign. Abalelanda ati te pale radio peka hapo pa kuteta ni umuntu. Ifi tulelanda na background yetu background. Afili pali ba mwamba. Background pali kweba ati chiteni chintu chimo refu okupisha omuntu umwe wachula. Abantu tabakonka mundu bakadye nkoko, bakadye nama, wale chula takatakie. Akalanda kona ngwaje kibwabwa, anu college, mukatashita tipilifie bwino. Mupadi omutende. Nombo mutende tapali uledye nkoko, uledye nama bale kutopa, kutuwa isala. Ba opposition nikakamini. Chiteni chintu chimomwe kwata ulukubuluku wako bati ulande atine ndefo kubefo 50+1 tepa no na ba president yacha bale itineyo uko itina tabale lala no Robert Chabinga umuntu abo kona bamusuku kamba uko kumafinga mwamwe ba musuku sana uko takwata abantu mwa fora bashiri kwa Chabinga takwata abantu tabakwata nangutimo nomba imwe ba opposition no bapeti ntuchimo kwa shala madezi yango okuta uko yachitama nomination tulefu akukafume chintu ifwe chintu chimunga nwatupira echo tukakonka kuika tulemfwe mipashinashi tula ukuchula tati tukate free education ikatwalililo kuba kololo tulemfati free education CDF tawinde kole mfoko CDF bantu aya CDF bapera abantu inoshitanga Zambia ngana ka prosper ngana win nomba yale yako sama CDF bapera abantu mwaka mwambe kontati wa walira CDF wingi iwe walira pyakuti iwe walira batita mubekata wajidi ama CDF ya baadi abamubene ulombelo ifo twisa kumivota fye mfwe kwa na twali wa tefo tfiro opposition pull up your socks mutampoku luishanya mweka mweka ala bomo bakwete mitimeshi biba ndimunda lekeni ukukonka abanene watheme obalefu abantu mwambo kulanda atite ifyo ikafyo abantu balefu okubomba bomba imwenga kwikatana ekatane mwefu mwikale nipanje imweni mwebakaka te ifo bakaka kweta tuponda kulande kutinka imwe bakamika taero mbamila ndushita pending bamo mwaikala tureba tukusheni kwa baneno abali kujele imwe munamu itala mule mulokati nafi mwami na kabi bakesa mifuike visendo mjishive ngabenga mipangira 78 ya chibeshi kutupasa mileka iwe weleke tupele ni umuntu turefu abamwamba efo tuwalanda kofyo batupele umuntu turefu bakakolongani kechintu chimo motifo turela kafe na badia turela bwacho luchelo namuya minina mumusebwachi iyo kwena ba UPND ba techi turelanda padi badia ko bate batutwele ku skulu
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you. Caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, this is Rusaka, the voice of Mandevu.
Mandevu, make your contribution.
Yeah, apyendezo sanifi abena Zambia tisuri ya menso ifibatu pishamo vintu ifya kosa no mulomo wenu tamumfwa mwebena Zambia tamumfwa so nga chakutira mulefu ya tamumona menso vale mibepo ufyati okutira there is no opposition kuti kwa kana shani kuba opposition walibula wali babika mu pocket wa opposition nga balefu okufumatika la mu pocket ni shwali kwa tamano nchitaka kwa tamano so mulole keshe mumpoto shenu mwali ba opposition mufyupo fyenu mwali ba opposition mwali kwa ta family planning ya ba indirect yo tamwaishi banoko ya afuma abana kuma skulu tabayako bali sami period free education abana babo tabaya mu kwikala mu class 200 mu class imo so lolekesheni nga bale mibe part opposition takwa ni narrative ya munguru yo bale mipere tapali nefiwe myapa tieni tusunge fitupanangu balandi ati mwikala kumana bafyante ba opposition mwira kumana mulepuka permission ku police pakutira mukwaterari pakuti muwe batatu uwafya tapali opposition twaimona kare amalight 4 years tatwa kwete ubunga bwali dula eri abanenso abakakwa mu kifungo muli abakabalubula nifuewo edo ifibaretira bareresha abakwimina banabo tekeni fetafishupire n'abatupangira opposition alliance yisuma kuntanshi bantu abo bamundubire nga babasha bamakepi nga babasha nangu bambi bakabafini tabake kale pofi bakaya mu support abapu bakaya mu kufise milandu shawo kulya kwine kubuteko so ken twisula menso mwebe na Zambia nangu tatukwete ba opposition bese atiyota kuli natubeshi ba abaliko lero ba PF na imwe bukeni kuli panifire munika ba membe ko bali kutimwa abasapota yuluka kararwa kulafu afyo kubatimbe pombe pote rusuma abanenu barebola mujeri omu.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Mandevu. I seem to have another caller. Thank you very much. I think I have Honorable Chimba Kambwili. Let's see if he's the one calling. Hello, caller.
Hello, Ambassador Mwambe.
Kwaiba Minister Mwabombeni.
Good evening and thanks for this continued program where you are. You see, once abantu within the borders of Zambia, but you've come out to be one of the platforms where Zambians are expressing themselves. And I want to say this to the Zambians. If there's been a year from 1964 when God has spoken to us, has given us all the signs to say the current government is not a government that we should not trust, is this year. God has given us all the signs. One, when UPND was in opposition, they objected to the situation where the police must be the ones to give permits. They made it very clear, in accordance with the Mulundika case, that you only need to do a notification to the police. Today, they've turned 360 degrees and says, no, you have to get permission from the police. They've even gone further to say, where 3 people have met on the street or on a public place, it is unlawful assembly. Mwena Zambia kwena nanguta mumona gutiloko tuleya bona ushuvi sana. There will be no democracy. Let's let Perafie all the signs to show us that this is not the right government to go with. I want to appeal to our friends and our brothers in the southern province, northwestern and western. Ukwebat, you are just being used for personal gain. What have you gained as Southern Province? What have you gained as Northwestern Province? What have you gained as Southern Province? Few people are enjoying and they want to continue enjoying. Na mupapa tamwevena Zambia, mwevena Southern Province. And I've told you, my family is largely Seventh-day Adventist, and there's intermarriage between the Bembas and the Southerners, because the largest people from the Seventh Day are Bembas and Southerners, and there's intermarriage. But if you let's take now is to try and divide the Northerners and the Southerners, the other provinces and the Southerners. Northern Southern Province, please see this for what it is. HH came on the platform of saying he wants to change what was happening. Yes, there was some kind of tribalism favoring the people from northern, eastern, and leaving out the people of southern province. But what was wrong under PF cannot be right under the UPND. Let us all as Zambians, our tribe is Zambians. We are not Bembas, we are not Tongas, we are not Lozes, we are not Kaondes. We are all Zambians. And let us rise to the occasions as Zambians to unite the country. There's no way you can allow somebody going to a southern province and be saying, Nganafuma po imomwela southern province mukachula. Awe, ubobufi, no kuva divisive, no fire konaule chalo chesu. Let us love one another. Let us be truthful to one another. Government les ale turanga the fionse fiovalech. Onen. Babula parliamentary privileges and immunities in parliament so that when a member of parliament, even in parliament, says there is corruption in this government, they will arrest them and give us evidence. All this is trying to take away the rights and freedoms of expression from the people of Zambia so that they cannot take government to account. And I'm so disappointed with the members of parliament who are in parliament today. If I had my way, I would advise all the people in all the provinces, once in parliament right now, I supported bills. Reject. I am very happy that those who have defected to UPND, when they are carrying out their internal selections, have been rejected. Primaries have been rejected. The UPND, what you have done is correct because umuntu ngatukawiso atukawishi iwewe ushiriwishi niwe akachindika n'abatuka pate abapangie like Chabinga babutuka mwaicho wandi mumba kumufurila lyonse bena bafaya fyo kuba on the side of the ruling party. And the reason is very simple. Bafaya kulapo kama contracts ku government of the day so that they make money for themselves and their families, and what they give you is what is known as bread crumbs. The big portion of what they earn goes to their own families and their pockets. Ababantu bachitere reject. Once I still defect from PF to UPND, mwibapera ma adoption certificates. Shimutuka mfumu, tatuka imo, atuka shonse. Ngatuke mfumu yakwe, na iwewe ne mfumu yenu akesa ituka. If you muchitreba UPND, well done, them totela. Mwibapera ma adoption certificates. Let's have a balanced parliament that will have the people of Zambia at heart. Not to kulakonga advice kuli imwe na imwe bene mailolo chikesa moneka tuma PF UPND ambu losing a popularity bakesa piluka baka mituka baka yekuli government ili. Na mpapa tamwe na Zambia. Let's make a decision and opposition, let's unite towards one candidate. Chawama, it's better to gain your life than me lose your life through wrong things. And once UPND lelumba tfilife bwino mwale kondema Public Order Act twali kondema mulundikaya ku koti na koti yaya achitaru elonga mwamfu arrogance balela ndati if you are not happy go to court. They are telling you that go to court because they know that kukoti na bachitako staff abantu babo abakoba nangumwaya they will rule in their favor. Lesa kapela muminwe aparamika fie. The onus is on us, the Zambians and the voters. Lesa mupale tubombele pamo tuchifie iti chilwani chishile chilwani shichishile ichile kuchita divide Zambia ichita chile fwaya democracy because ngamwasenda ma rights yabantu, rights of assembly, rights of speech ni democracy yadila yafwa. Lesa mupale ukondindelila to see what UPND has done. If you're against UPND, will repeal the cyber security law. But it's hence times 14. Are you safe? Na imwe ne makala chitavenga wapusana niwe UPND wapusana navo ngefyo vachitire gari nkombo because kwenda kuti mwamona kutila gari nkombo kuti mwamona kutila muchima kuti mwamona kutila muvanga ava le support and defend UPND kuti vaisa vachitefo vachitire lelo ushivutukila mutembo wa muviye no wakwe wine upokwa ukwalinsoke takwafuile vantu uwakwebemfwa yakwanoko mutanshi. Our appeal is that let's do the right thing. Umwine wati sushi katila chanunka tomfoku nunke sushi. Those who are in UPND cannot see these mistakes, but the people outside, just like the people in PF never saw the wrongs, but people outside saw the wrongs. Lesamupale. 13th of August is a deciding day whether we agree that we should be a democratic country or we should allow one single man to be calling the shots and everybody dance to their music. Ichivemba chitila takwavo muntu ulishe ngoma yakwe nokushana leshana takwava bambi bafuile balelishe ngoma ero bambi baleshana nomanga mulelishe ngoma iyove wemwino leshana chivemba chitila ukakase ngoma mafi ero chivemba chitila ukamina nkonkonko ukafilwa nokufuisa lesa mpale.
Thank you. One Shimbakambwili, former minister, and senior political leader in our country, and he has given very apt advice. Thank you, Honorable Shimbakambwili, for your continuous interaction with this program. We are very grateful. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, my nameless. Can you hear me?
Mkwai Mayo, London Mkwai.
Mkwai, thank you, Bamwamba. Even when you think of not participating, but because of, such issues, you just say, no, I have to. Anyway, first and foremost, I would like to thank you, Shimbakambwili. This is the voice that we really wanted. And he has come out, he has spoken to everybody, and this is the voice we were waiting for. Tataba chimba tuatotela pamashu yenu na mwatuletela solution because you have supported us very much. Bamwamba ichalo chesu, it's an alien. Na chaluka te chalo nukutina mwangeni kuletina ifilechitika lelo tufuile tuakosa tatufuile okuluzinga hope nangwa panono iyo panfionse nafilanga ukulingana nefe balanda nabena bachimbo kwe bati na mumone file chitika chishinga nafilanga so apecho ndelo umba kufenye ukubika pofye na bachimba bene batata bachimba bakambwili ni mweba fulile ukukolongana wonse pamo wema opposition wonse wish befya kuchita pakweba tukwena mutu pusushe pantu tualaya mboku latina kushe kwena nangwelo leya mukumona ba blue bube kuti waya mukulapo ka permission yakwe bati muchitegada tulachitagada mu families wabe fisungu waba mabwinga waba bashibukombe kwa basenda basha nombe fibala tubikamo awe chalo chesu ni alien. It's not the Zambia we knew. We don't know what's happening. Yeah. Ichalo chesu chilefu haikuwa kuba claims Bamwamba. Chilefu haikuwa mapepo Bamwamba. Muchalo chesu Bamwamba no ushasumina mchibanda kuti asumina. Na muponena ichibanda. Ngatwalando kwa tina mponene chibanda chishinka chilefu haiko kuba cleansed. Mlandu ine na fionse file monekera pambiribiri. Ukweba tichalo chenu nacho na ikaso fionse file moneka pambiribiri. So inende lomba kuma opposition bonse fie. Twa mipapata. Twa lala panshi. Twa mianga malova. Mwe twa mipa katwisha fo tuingalanda mashu ya apandela nda inene chirempu chaisa. No kuleka na alekera papene ba mwamba. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear sister. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Mwamba mwabombeni.
Endita.
Ichiba mwamba na chifina mwe. Na hapa uchambila chakosa bi pantu na chishupo bupilu ukufya kuchipilibula chile pilibula shani icha kwamba ba mwamba ineni mbako very disappointed with the law society in our country, which called the Law Association of Zambia. I first shishibe, where are these noble men and women who are supposed to safeguard our laws and constitution and all the provision and governance systems in the Chingirila we and Tashwa Chalo Chesu cha Zambia? Born some lawyers in Zambia that fails the Zambian people. Pantu, idoba chimwene cha parliament. What was the law of the lawyers or the society? Fish by no kuchita basite safeguard chalo. No mecha alenga ba mwambapa. Bon sama lawyers mu Zambia ndiba tuliemo tabale fire kuti bapokolola be na Zambia. Ngabale fo pokolola be na Zambia. Ngabali ima baita even an emergency meeting, a caucus meeting, no kulande fresh parliament. Ba mwamba, there is no way baneli mutu tubaebe chalo kweba tabakwete evidence ya kweba ama MP bali sta defect ukuya ku UPND. That was the biggest insult. Nomba katwishive ewo bale tuka nango bale panisha nango bale statis shishive because chile muneka fecha icha na fecha pabwelu nomba ngatwalikwata abantu abasambirira kwabanatafuka bungwe kaba recognized as the Law Association of Zambia, which is supposed to safeguard the institution or the law of this country. Baikala zi pantu bambi bali salwa ukuba mumitundu kula supporta because inna fumao kuchitungu chakuti inna abamu mu supporta a political party akuti ine mbomba na bakuti ba mwambechi. It's a very something which is a very sad moment. Muna today stand Ngulanda because chakulisha we expect our lawyers to protect this, but our lawyers they have let down the Zambian people. Nomba efo chava ido wasenda menshaya kava uletila na lamwe kila yala ina menshi yala sembukila ya isa kocha. If you achitika mu parliament ili vekalila kuntanshi chikesa wocha nomba kulingana ngefi alanda bachimba kambwili kulingana abantu bakule kupa belt tatwaishibyo omutundu tatwaishibyo omukowa twaishibyo fyo kutemwa no kwikana okupana twaikala pamu ichasa tusambilisha chaleta bulanda kula muno kwebati baneli muti na mumamuna baneli muti fole monika na ba mwangala zalomis na ba HH. They are giving a sign for a certain groupings everybody statis Muzambia. Sometimes tekwebati ukukana fie kukweba mashiwi nemi chitile inelanga tabale kufwaya no kuposha fyo muntu ngakuposha tale kufwaya file fye chitika mu parliament kuli abantu bamo kuli certain region yo balebo kwebati twami chita mwale muna kwati mwali chenjira lomba tuwa michita tamukwe chama ka twala wombe fo telefo kuchita twala chite fo telefo kuchita tapale sho muli nombechi abena Zambia beshibe mu Bible kwali Mordekai na nisi wa kwesta ali mwebela ati omufumuli omo tawi safe ichicha pita hapa na wewe ne chikakukonka ababambi bonsa bale muna kwati pantu bali mu UPND filifio bwino tabeshibe efyo lesa pekenye kuntanshi ubushiku bwabo ubushiku bwesu bwalelo ubwa mailo bwakwalesa nangufyonso wonso bufumuturefu ayobu uwishibe fyo tukana bokuntanshi nilesa bamwamba. It's a very sad day for the Zambian. See, it's even very difficult to describe because it's chichaona ule chalo chichaona ule busuma bwa telefo twaikala fwe bambi twafuma ku northern twaupa abana kashwa ku northwestern abatonga ba western province, and we are very happy. If you come into our families, there is no any tribe because every tribe in our families is there. But to look what Nelly Muti she has done, uliomwana kashulia lesa mupale. I thank you, Amwamba.
Thank you very much. A lot of people are celebrating the news from Mafinga, where a medical doctor, Dr. John Vuarika, has beaten Robert Chabinga. There is another news from Kabwe, where Sidney Mushanga has also been beaten in Wacha. So it's very, very interesting. Like Mbakambwiri Bachiralanda, at the UPND must punish these defectors. So, so there's news that Dr. John Vuarika, a long-time UPND member in Mafinga, has beaten Robert Chabinga hands down. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Hello.
This is Muntu Musukwa. I'm calling you from Lusaka, Zambia.
Muntu Musukwa, make your contribution.
Thank you very much. It's very good that the traitors are being taught a lesson. Their judgment has come early. I've heard the news from Mafinga. Very interesting. Well, special salutations to Honorable Mbakambwiri and for the wisdom he has shared. And I think that this is a man that we need to pay attention to when he speaks. Honorable Mbakambwiri means a lot to this country. Well, we are at a crossroad in this country. But people of Zambia must realize that this is not the first time we are here. Zambian leaders had fought a more terrible regime than this one that we are fighting now. President Hakainde Hichilema. He has scored 0 on anything that any government is elected to do. President Hakainde Hichilema has scored 0 on what he himself promised the people of this country. The only thing he has succeeded 100% is to destroy all democratic credentials we fought for with our blood from colonial times. Everything without any shame, without any sense of shame. And what is making him to do all these things is that the man is desperate. The man, he knows the crimes he has committed together with his co-hosts. And he knows that once he leaves that office, he's going to prison because of the crimes that he has committed everywhere. Right now, he is busy, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, politicking all over. The man was employed to sort out the Ministry of Health. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, UTH is in a coma. UTH is in a coma. If there's anyone who's at UTH, you can call them to confirm. My gloves ya jamagozi yaja. There's nothing. And again yeah, you can laugh, my brother. This government has been boasting all over. We have employed 4,000 teachers, 4,000 health personnel. Go to UTH now. You will find that UTH now is more understaffed than it was under PF. The entire UTH is dependent on student nurses. Student nursing, who are clueless, they know nothing. Most of them are from the neighboring countries. They are completely clueless. These are the people who are working. So are we asking ourselves to say, now, where are the nurses these people are saying they are employed? So these are the issues. Management is almost non-existent. These are the issues President Hakainde Hichilema was elected to be addressing. Not for him to be busy to be doing. Why is he so scared if he feels that he has performed? Governance, President Hakainde Hichilema, Dagulomba Mdala, is never taken like that, Mdala. Governance is never taken like that. Because no matter how much you hold on, time your turn to life figure. You don't take, these people have not taken governance in the right manner. So what we are appealing to you, the opposition political leaders, is to think beyond the box. I am telling you that our first president, KK, was fighting our colonial masters. He devised ways and means of defeating them. He conducted clandestine meetings everywhere until we succeeded to get independence. So whatever Mingala Hakainde is playing, the ball is still in your hands, you as opposition political leaders. We are the people of this country are resolved. People of this country, including UPND members themselves, they are resolved that President Hakainde Hichilema must go. We are just waiting for the whistle to say, this is the person that we should rally behind. So, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, they are scared, these people, because they know the crimes that they have committed. The criminal activities they have committed, that's why they are scared. They are using all sorts of underhand. But we are pleased putting our hopes on the opposition. Our hopes are still in the hands of the opposition. You must be able to find means and ways of defeating this, because KK fought a much more brutal and regime of Mingalato than what we are seeing today. Now, my brother, thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear brother. We have so many people waiting. Let's pick the calls. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution.
Hello, Bamwamba, Ambassador. Mabombeni mkwai.
Mkwai Mayo, Badishan, thank you for waiting. Make your contribution.
Mama Nyilenda, ndetu mina kusuvalesi. Na poshako na ba general wa fumapwava.
Mkwai,
Ambassador,
thank you.
Ichalo ba HH. Tabatekele bwino. Apatwala wapelaka in 5 years. Tabatekele bwino ichalo echi. Umulandu wa kweba ati. Ababa akateka aba. Tabatekele bwino ichalo kwe nga omuntu wa PF alufyanya kuya mukumukaka. Nala pa example inashasuminisho kutuka insele shibi sana. Why me? Vale tukushana na chikokolo kayoyo. Why me tatwa ishwane kwa wapari inoshta? Abama MPs abashire defect kuya kunanikani ku UPND. Bamwambaleke investing ngabule kwa akamwa akalupundu pali ba Chabinga na bamushanga. Lesa pale bakubakana babantu and chirefu ekabonse abajoina UPND bafuire babakana omulandu mwana okwati umwana ngale afuma munganda muri banyina abamufyala aya mukulande efi bipali banyina. What more step mother Chabinga if you alelanda ubwingi mu PF ifi bipali ba PF nombali kwisa ichalo tachawe me echo tulelo mbafine balandire bachimba kambwiri. Please to papa taba opposition hii ne chance chifine balandire bachimba kambwiri nga to losing a chance hii katusheko tukaya uli omlandu bachire ba HH ukubloka motoka ya ba president ba former president ba Edgar Chagwa Lungu mpasho wabolale mchibote nga bali bena ba HH nga tabachitirepo kwa bati baumfoluso kwa bati babafunye bati balungu bali kwa mtimo wa chikuku paka ba president ba HH bateka nomba amaluzi bapisha amaluzi mu parliament yakwati bachinge fwe bantu tulefira okulanda pachalo chalo chesu emo tuwafyalwa mzambia mwashikwe mtoto shesu tulefira okulanda nga walanda nishikuku kaka please defyo bateke echalo efi efe tulefwa ya president o tukasala pa 13th akamonefyo aisira mchalo notu kutampa okulakonka abantu nga balanda ekintu kyaso okulakonka please chalo tefyo bateke efi abantu gati balekala mtalo kwa techalo chawo ichi chalo techa kwa echeka chalo chesu bonse bakaunda bali tekele chalo bateti balingane ne batekele ba echechi ama president bonse bali teke chalo echi teti balingane fe batekele ba echechi umwana wabazalo Messi ukutocha lingo omuntu paka omuntu ukufwa uyo bali mfunya panole bati ngawali umuntu wa PF ngatulelanda pangali mu sales kuteke chalo kozoona ukwisa baishire nobufi please twapapata mwe bantu bekala chalo tule milomba tentu ikatane chance tuipanya ngatwapanya fe chance hii damu mfo bachimba kambwire fe balandire bachimba kambwire bali sapoteko ba UPND bakoneji asibaisa landana mashu kwa twali mu bovya chishimba kambwire kulanda pali tribalism bamukaka bachimba kambwire bati bakoneji asibalanda po tribalism finga bali bakakapo ulio watu kila ba Roman Catholic bali mukakapo ba UPND abatuka abantu abalande fibi bali bakakapo but opposition ngalanda ko feyo kasonde kulanda feti bali ruba bakateka tatuishi bene kwa kasonde bantu futi kutunga fwayo kubasha mchalo cha Zambia zona please twapapa tamwe bale kutika kumulabaso kutentu webe abantu bonse muno mchalo twebe ko ba Blue West twebe ko ba neba kweba imitekele ya chalo kateko itaitekele bwino ero abene sande chanda bonse ndefu afye baluse konse bonse afye aba PF aba balefu baluze kwa bati baishi kwa chalo chona abantu na bafulwa ero nangu balusa ba UPND be kapita tuipela po chance MP nangu umo kuli ba UPND no wine kateka afwire fyafu maana maluzi bapere tulefu abene bakese yakabakande abene beka kai bashara bayapisha bene beka so tentu ikale tulande pachali tentu campaign ero tuumfo so tentu tulande ero fwe balela ndana momwe bale umfako nayi mwako ebene abantu pando abanga bakesa mkupita apa ma voice bale tukonga apa file bachanda bamba bale okaputa apa balele mba chite alande fyaso tukafisa manga baisa apita tulefu aba Emmanuel Mwamba babwele mukwisa panga program muno mchalo chabo noti abantu bale amkufama kwatika tuishi bena bali kala bali sende chalo bali wina bali sende chalo kwatika tuishi please twapapata uyafwile fyafu mapasa etinisi mubombe bwino ba Mwamba
thank you man thank you very much. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
But this is from Livingston.
Bamwewa from Livingston. Make your contribution, my brother.
Well, first of all, you know, I'm very saddened with how we have been betrayed by our own members of parliament. Because we cannot condemn entirely President Hakainde Hichilema. President Hakainde Hichilema is initiating, and then the guys who are scoring are the members of parliament. So now, about prepay, want to watch 300 adoptions, 2021 members of parliament. Members of parliament, especially from the part of the PF, those that were adopted in 2021. Abengi bulov tungurushu bashitire fe ba SG abariko parikali agashita ku PF. Iriya ineshita abantu bashire fulwa yakwe bati instead ama constituency officials avec naba mu constituency basala MP wabo wachale sango kuba kutata ula MP basala aba constituency officials taba mubikepo bana baletera fyo omuntu ati apolio ala emina nyuyu aba ingire ingi pali bwe MP mu 2021 nibali abashitire adoption certificate, and that is the time when icharo cha mbiro kona ikani mu 2021 after we adopted wrong candidates. These are the dangers of ubutungurushi bwa kushita. Ubutungurushi bwa kushita takudeko bwinga twale icharo kuri konse. Pantu appetite ya mpia umuntu taipwa. Abama members of parliament bale muna kwa nakalimunga baingira mu parliament baka mama wa millionaires. But badabo kwati kuda ku parliament baile walikuwa kuya mukupanga mafunde ya kushita improve ichalo. But pantu tentungurushi bale konka kwati nakalimunga mukuta protect my business wabo tumashani. They went to parliament ignorantly. And this is why now someone is just driving them to do what he wants, not for them to think on their own. I'm a parliamentarians about parliament, both from the ruling party and the opposition. Ebo now my members of parliament. Because if members of parliament bale tonton kanya before tabarambo kuwota if virafi ne bavota mu parliament. Ngatabona wile chalo. This is why ubutungurushi teru pia yo ubutungurushi mutima. And as we adopt members of parliament this August this year, bero mbako fe kuwekara chalo berore kesha paru pia umuntu akwete yo barore keshe pa mutima akwete. That is what we must use to do to adopt our candidates. That was to adopt our candidates. Aba kwete mitima shabantu. All of UPND balava letra shanu because by UPND va plan it up. All those that will be adopted on from the part of the opposition, they will buy them off. That is their plan. So therefore ama MPs bakaba tulo kwete mutima wabantu akobo kutira nangwa mutsa adopt. Na ishbo kwebo kutira titeine bantu ndesta the bambinde sorry bamamba.
Yes, push and conclude so that we can take as many calls as possible.
So ndero mbakufoko ba pama adoptions apa tusende abantu abakete mitima shabantu tusende abantu abali kwati mwe ba mwamba mwalifuma mu kyalo kyenu mwalikwata fyo mutima wa kyalo kyenu olumwa ya ku America still you are contributing positively. Tusende abantu emitima bali kwati ni makebizulu bantu pali pamubiri wa balungu wa makebizulu nga bali kweto nga bali temenoro pia nga kale babashita. But he has shown that for him it's not money mutima towards the people like our late President Dr. Edgar Chagalungu. So pama members of parliament pama adoption to pose Sadama then mwamba naranda pari 4,000 the police officers. Ayama funde ba pangalero ayama funde ba MPs batupela yantwala kuri 4,000 the police officers. Those 4,000 police officers beshire emirimu eshishine shishako bati ngabasanga fya abantu batatu kutapa bantu enomo police officer ule tontonkanya bwino who has been in a service in several governments eta kongeresha upo bali fokuleta ba UPND nibali abali for pin nomba ebala chitakali out ayama nani kan ayama task yakwe bati bali ikatori onse obasanga okwebo kutirati bali kumana batatu omo. So and this is where Zambians must really be very concerned. Abama members of parliament, they are paid using taxpayers' money, and most of them their gratuities are due. But gratuity coming from taxpayers. So police 4,000 they will be paid from taxpayers' money. So we must know that he tax to the pay to punish. So mwebena Zambia na papata key it is a permanent adoption because it's only on the 11th of August, 13th of August, is when we are going to correct all these wrongs. And it depends on the candidates that we are going to adopt. Whichever opposition is adopting, please, don't mutima not urupia. Pandurupia. Na tumulifu na ulechalo. Kuma MPs ebo tuatwe ku parliament. If we have any former Zambians, kwa chereza mkia mkuvota. Eba tona wile chalo.
Thank you very much. We'll begin to take last calls. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contribution.
Mwamba mushani kabiri mwabombeni.
Endita.
Awe mulimo mulego mba kalamba ukalamba elolesa amipale.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nego musonda. Nde tumina ku South Africa, Johannesburg.
Bamsonda landenipo.
I am so not touched and I'm not happy with what is happening. You know, sir, I've been following you and I've been following what people have been saying. And I just want also ukutasha ba Chimbakambwili. But Chimbakambwili, you know, I remember everybody muli PF bali niwa spokesperson in our government in time Yabasata. But Chimbakambwili after that, but what I've seen from what he has said, the past 2 meetings I've heard him coming in. Here first by Shirepo, he was even, slapped by, the words of other people. But he still came back and he, calmly and explained things. That is the Chimbakambwili we know. The Chimbakambwili that was there was a very proud man and very arrogant. And, he would even, shut you up in front of TV, interviews. But this Chimbakambwili I've seen, this is the man we need. And we thank God that the man has grown, in maturity, in wisdom, and also in patience. We thank God and thank you very much, Chimbakambwili, for the words that you have spoken. Those words are very encouraging and very, educative and full of wisdom. Thank you very much. Now I come to what has happened, the 74 bills that have been passed in Zambia. This is not right at all. I remember one time here in South Africa, especially here in Gauteng province, what happened was they passed a law. They introduced what is called ITO. ITO is more like toll gates. So now ITO was, added to the toll gates in Gauteng without, consulting the people of South Africa. What the people did, the government went and bought all the things that are still even there now. They bought and everything, the cameras there, whereby if the car just passes there, it is captured. At the end of the month, when you go to pay, your disc or something, they will tell you need to pay the ITO. So the people demonstrated, not the government, not the opposition, the people of South Africa. They walked to the Union building where the president's office is. And they said, we are not going to tolerate this, we are not going to be paying this, and we want these things out. And indeed, eventually, the government had to do that. Why? It is because of the people. Now, what I'm seeing is, and what I know and understand is, president and the member of parliament, they work for the people of Zambia, not the people of Zambia working for them, and not oppressing the people of Zambia. I remember also, when Kaunda and his group, they were fighting for freedom, for us to get independence. They sacrificed. They said, we are not going to allow this. We are not going to sit and look at these people oppressing us. So it is my appeal to my fellow Zambian people that we should not agree, even if these bills are passed, we should stand as a nation. These bills are passed against us. These bills are passed for us. So we need to stand as Zambians and refuse that we don't want these bills. We have been betrayed by members of parliament. because the way it's supposed to happen, when members of parliament were told that this is what is going to happen, they were supposed to go back to their constituencies and tell the people, explain to the people, oh, these are the bills that are about to come, and we need to go and vote. So let the people tell the member of parliament that we want them or we don't want them. But I believe there was nothing like that, because these members of parliament, they are working for the people who are in their constituency. And in their constituency, if they cannot reach the people, they are what they call councillors, and they are what they call youth chairmen. They can go to them, and then these people need to go to the people at the ground, and they speak to the people. Then the people will decide. Then what the people will say is what the member of parliament now will bring into the parliament to say no or to say yes. But what has happened is wrong. No one was informed in their constituencies, but they went and passed this bill on. Now we need to stand and refuse it. Whether, remember in the times of Kaunda and other people, they fought and they were sacrifices. People were killed to get freedom, to get independence. Now it's like we are now going to fight for another independence, for democracy. Because these people, what they are doing is destroying the country and taking us back to slavery, which is not right. We don't want that. We don't want Wamwamba. This is not right at all.
Thank you, my brother.
Right.
Thank you for those.
Another thing, sorry, Wamwamba, I just appeal also to the opposition. The opposition, you need to come together. Let one person stand, that we can all stand for that person and vote that person in and vote these people out. This is not right. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable.
Thank you, thank you, my dear brother. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
chikwete finga efyakulanda abantu abengi n'abalanda ekyo ndemye bamumanchirefu okulanda pamwera apa. I want to tell you something, because some other things you need action. So I don't want to say many things here. If you have time, please let me have a conversation with you.
Okay, Wakalamba, I'll call you. I'll look at your number. I'll call you back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, my name is Agnes Tonga.
My dear sister, make your contribution.
Yes, please. Ichakubalira pomwapo nkwaika ilimu abombeni.
Ndita mwewe nakalale mulishani.
Awe tulishe bwino kwena nalalanda mchibemba pa kuchabengi bonfu.
Emkwai.
Therefore, to underscore the previous two callers, especially the one from South Africa, abachilanda pama members of parliament kutuchita betray. Because kulingana nefunde fulyaba abama members of parliament fweba batuma ku parliament ni fwe bantu fwe balefu mama constituencies. So tabakwete ensambu isha kuchita vote for any bill or against any bill ero tabala bwerera kuli ifwe for feedback bakwe bati na ifwe to aba represented to achita contribute ero ayama bill bachitre pass ba UPND government ayali 74 mwishu kufyeshi nono tetu ishwe cho balerwisha bantu mafunde ayale kumakuli ifwe fwe bantu. They are so broad. Muli education, muli health, what have you, they needed a broader consultation. No mbangefe balandiri abanandi ama members of parliament bamunoshiku abo tuletuma ku parliament eshishi befu balechita. So uno muku ama parties wonse basale ama member, especially ba opposition basale ama abantu abalefuayo okubombera ekyalo abalefu okubombera abantu. Not if you have a parliament, Mulandu Wakwati, Onkafuleko graduate, Inkashiteko Ngandana, Inkashiteko Motoka. We Bafile Baishu Kwati, Elobalea Kuyaku Parliament, my representative, Babantu. Ndeibusha akale mu MMD na lipa constituency ku Lusaka Central Constituency actually. The member of parliament at that time, Deepak Patel, balile vote refunde ukufuma pafo twa mfwene na fwe bantu. Twalikalipe. Twalisa ya ku TV no kukalipe chine. Echa kuwe bati batu itatuwakwata na meeting bati sana withdraw ya vote. Because effort fuili okuba. Tatufiri okubutukira sheyo. Ero nakabiri tulebweke shapo. Abama opposition, please, ikataneni. Pombereni chapamo. Ifo fweba lima structures natu ikatana. Fweba limumisevo natu ikatana. Konsoko tulimanga ndama communities natu ikatana. Nomba turefuayo muntu umo. Eo tupere voti. Veyaka nyama voti yo. Tumfuane palicho echintu wa mwamba. Pantu ngefi abantu balera ndata tuteme nwefile chitika muli chino chalo. Mwamo na uyu member of parliament wa kukanchibia. Nala ndefintu ifing sana ifibi. Pantu abantu pakulanda bamona kwati abantu nakalimota bakwata amano na ngutababerenga. Tetu yochite koti ifunde ili ya kuyuke. Kunote kuyuke. Tereni hapu sana. That's why tetu yoshite moto kakuyuke eyo wishibo kwebati tetiende mu environment ya kuzambia na ngweza ya kuzambia tetifibombe tetu uchitefi ifunde nga ya kuchako batilile bomba kuyuke tekwebati muno muzambia kutili bomba yo. We must also think of future leaders who can abuse something. Ngefifine chili nomba aba letere cyber law ni ba PF, but they did not abuse that. Nomba moneni wa UPND for bachita. That law is being abused. That's why people are running away from this country. Nomba nga chakwe bati turepanga mafunde aya kutukoba fwebene aya kutupoka ma freedom of assembly, freedom of speech. Ni ishi democracy tualu ili kuisa. Because echo tuwalefo ya muno chalo ni democracy kwe bati tuika ebuino. Echo tuwafumishe po one party state. Tuwabwekesha democracy pakwe bati abantu bale ba free. Nomba tatuli free abantu bale free okulanda. But background, the ground is kutumana shatina papia. Abantu balefu okuchinjo obuteko numbecho balefu aya kuikatana ukwebati tuikatane pam.
Thank you, Mayo. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for those words. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador. I'm anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes, naranda kumuchibemba mkwai. Baona ambassador chinga chakwe bati ilifunde lishire likwena is only meant to oppress the opposition tapali na fimbi mkwai. Because karabo kwe bati opposition ngabo kwata campaign ba police ba ko no te chimkwata campaign due to security concern. But I can tell you the current president is not a promoter of democracy. He pretends to promote democracy but he doesn't. And look at what he's doing. Most of the things they condemn back then. You know, we are the good president who promoted democracy. May he so rest in peace. If it were monarchy, and it's a shame. And Zambians elected a dictator. Now it's good that all of us do the money for it. Members of parliament because most of them because they have betrayed the Zambians. So we na Zambia isentu ikatane pamo. Tumulafutwara chitapa 13th August because the ball is in our hands.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's begin to wind up. Today we were holding People's Forum. I noticed that every time I have guests, people have so much to say. And you know, when we open the phone lines, people want to express themselves. And that's why I usually hold the People's Forum so that people then can speak freely and they can speak what is in their heart. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Ambassador Mwabeni.
Endita mkwaimayo mbadishani.
Ifoto lifebuino.
Endita, make your contribution, my sister. Who's calling?
Ambassador neona msonda ndetu mna kuchimwemwe.
Endita, wana msonda, make your contribution.
Kwata twala ukubuchushibwa bulwele twachibapa Central Hospital kukitwe ilio tufumine mu Central Hospital tamwachibo muti twakunkuluka batwe batao mwilie peshiria opposite na Central Hospital abalefo abali bonse mu Zambia bakaye bakasanga ka chemist ku left ku right pa shopping mall complex ya Nyuso bakasanga e-shop butchery ya ma Chinese ichamupambe chichitike pachibi abakwa bati nodi yonse ule ipitila kuti amona pali amashiwe alemberwe visa entry chile meaning okwe bati mudia mu shop mudia that wingi lokwabula visa we mwine Zambia by manual bamwamba.
My dear sister, make something very clear. You are saying there is a Chinese shop which requires
butchery,
or it's a butchery, and they require that you should have a visa to go in.
Emukwai nero wafuma nabalemba nababika nechipampa pachibi bakwate fibi bafibi fionse fibiri nachilembe kokwe bati omwine Zambia tete engire ukwabula visa na yali amashop yabomfya mukwai impia sha ku China.
Also, they've opened the Chinese shop for Chinese. Where is this shop?
Iri Pantash pa Central Hospital.
Opposite Kitwe Central Hospital.
Kitwe Teaching Hospital. Emukwai uri onse akayepo akasange findelanda.
Thank you very much.
Baba China nabapela mavao katwishinga nyabo bene ba map bakapokora banyu bapele myoto kanga nishinga lero yachi bapa breaking news. Bamwambeshi windelanda nangu balesha abantu ku campaign kaliyo bachaire ba UPND kutubika mumfimfi kula tutapisha menshi chimwemwe kwacha konse kudya tulifipuba ifwe tulifinama abana nga baya kuma skulu kula isanga mu mafi campaign kaliba chitire ba UPND ni campaign ya kututeka ngefinama campaign yonso yo bachitire ba UPND kali ya kutwika likangefinama ba Emmanuel campaign kaliba chitire ba UPND yako naule mieo yakunyonga abantu amamaini yakunyonga abana amamaini ngabaya mukufwaya namashovero bena kuba nyonga bena kuba tubina bakapokola abasungu abale nyonge echuma chacharo na madam truck na ba excavator bena bantu awe twatotera ba UPND twatotera pamitekere yeno twaimona bayechire mofyo twamikanine miku 6 mwatu ibukishe miku 6 muri 5 years twamona na makarazi yenu alata mwaka chimone chipando chidya alata mwapekare tamwapekare nangu muchitechirishani kuchitumbi chababulungu arabatushe muchibote alatafya bombe mwebene Zambia sentuikatane elo ninte mwabonze abaletu mapapa phone bale sounding abantu abamano sana kwale bati yota mwaba leadership mu Zambia ala leadership omo yaba elo ifo bakaunda bali tulengere twakwata opportunity ya kusambirira bene Zambia twalisambirira abene Zambia taifo bene Tanzania taifo bene Malawi ifo bene Zambia twala iminina ngatu wa Kongo bala tutasha at least Zambia ilikwata order kuyisa ba mwamba imwe ikala kuchalo uko mwali mona po amafunde 72 baya pasa mu bushikubumo na ngfya yali 5 mu bushikubumo takuwa batachachi kapolo chachambire kuno lekeri bachite bufwayo bwabo bonse echo tatuasuminishe kutupatula na bapela example ikunu pali bachabinga ero bachabinga ro bayamba okusombola tabalati ndelanda nati Zambia te ya muntu umo te company yakwe ala mono kwe batfwe bene Zambia taturifi pubatula mona iyi ni part 1 part 2 tachata na chitikapo echa kwa ebati aba members of parliament bafuma mu parliament bakano kudubushanya bwino yokwena twatekwa ishi windelo lela again yakwebati lesa ni mali otora ba ambassador elo tapari ocho bala chitecha la twiminika fwe bene Zambia meso na yesuka ngabali shechalo bashitishe beka tapari wa bapere po ensambu Ero bakakobe kwa kuntambo edali bapekenye fwe kala charo kwe batukala ikara muntambo sho batukoba ifwe bayichirema tafyachitike twakana mwishina vyera kwa Yesu Kristo twatotera bayemanyo pamuli mule bomba ero makebi ngole umfwa abo ba makebi lesami pale ero lesami miena kabiri ero lesami chingirire ero ifwe taturi fipuba amenso pamo mwebene Zambia amenso pamo na totera.
Thank you very much. And I'll declare that's our last caller. The phone keeps on buzzing. I understand people want to talk, but at least we've spoken for over 2 hours. Today was Tuesday, 12th May 2026, and we were tackling various issues. Let me close. Maybe this will be our last caller. Hello, caller. You are our last caller. Make your contribution.
Thank you. I just call myself your sister back home.
My dear sister, make your contribution.
Mkwaiwa mwamba kanande mchibemba.
Mkwai.
Seba MP baraba vote bill 7. They must not be adopted. Once I'm opposition leaders, abakata apply my MPs, about bill 7, they must not be adopted. Ever to punish a problem that lepitam, they must be rejected forthwith. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much. God bless you and thank you for all your contribution today. We had the wonderful program Mantos People's Forum, and I wanted you to breathe to speak. We were discussing the pre-processing process for the presidential supporters provincial pre-processing. They were submitting these supporters to provincial centers. The program started yesterday. Yesterday there was Howard Kunda, Charles Chanda, Kelvin Fubebwalia, Brian Muntayalwa, Mundubile, Given Mwenya Chansa, and Professor Daniel Pule. Of these from yesterday, KBF and Brian Mundubile succeeded, and Charles Chanda, he later clarified. But like I was saying, we may not know whether they also succeeded at other provincial centers. We saw they succeeded in Lusaka, but they must succeed in bringing 100 supporters in all the provincial centers, including Lusaka. The report I've been giving concerns Lusaka only. ECZ to verify whether these candidates submitted in all the provincial centers. Today, there was Citizen First President Harry Kalava, Enoch Roosevelt Tonga, Dr. Sebastian Copeland, and Francis Mandona Mwape and Kasondesi Mwenda. We know that of these, I think only Harry Kalava submitted. Sebastian Copeland, Francis Mandona Mwape, and Kasondesi Mwenda, for obvious reason, didn't submit because he's still in jail for over 10 days. He's been detained. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we expect Chanda Augustine Katotowe, who's being sponsored by Sean Tembo's Party Patriots for Economic Progress, Kafula Mubanga from the Development People's Party, Richard Silumbe from Leadership Movement Party, and Dr. Fred Membe from Socialist Party. Moses Mawere withdrew, so Moses Mawere will not be available. And then on Thursday, we expect Makebi Zulu from the Resolute Party, Dr. Reverend Given Katuta, she's an independent candidate, Xavier Franklin Chikonkolo Chungu, former spy chief from Liberal Democratic Party, Wheeler Joseph Mdolo, independent, Dr. Brian Mushimba. Then lastly, the last to submit will be on Friday, Dr. Ritual Siamnene from New Focus Party, Pastor Peter Chanda, New Congress Party, Bishop Trevor Musonda, Selwyn Mwamba is standing as independent, and President Hakainde Ichilema. This will conclude the submission of the pre-processing of presidential supporters in the provincial centers, a process that will whittle down. Remember, 44 candidates attended the conference, the stakeholders conference. 26 paid. Of these 26, we can see the numbers are still falling. And for all of you, you kept on saying that opposition must come together. You still hope that opposition must come together. My dear sister Annie Matipa, we have closed, but you can speak.
Yes, I want to speak in Nyanja. I'll remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution. I'm sorry, I could have identified you by the number. I saw that here. Sorry.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Ramwamba, ine nzakambako mchinyanja, ero nizankalako anonymous caller. Ine lero tunakuita nazimai onse, mayusi onse, nazibambo. Tieni tikaime pa 13th August, monga inswa. Tikachose abantu ba UPND. Imwe mayusi, dimwe amunalenga kuti lero tikaena ma problems aya. Aba bantu wakapita manje tizamba manje kunkhala bwanji waleta malamulo mu parliament ati kulibe kusonkhana vantu vatatu mukasonkhana vantu vatatu nikuyamba kumigwira manje azimai nazibambo vamene vaina vana 10 vazamba kuenda bwanje kusonkhana kumachechi nishi manje ngatofuna kuenda kuchechi nikuyamba kuenda kutenga police report. Ero nimipapata wonse azimai vayuthi vazibambo tieni uzani vanzanu wonse muzikonga hii programu ya vaimani omwamba. Hii programu ya vaimani omwamba izamisegula mitu muzazi wa vonse vamene vichitika muno Muzambia. Tikaime pa 13th August kwa sala chabe hii programu ya meni tikonga manje pa internet ndava manje kusonkhana latiresa. So, kuchonka chabe kuzambo ngate pa Facebook. Vamiminzi wonse blue one vamiminzi mukakhala nakona tundalama tutondo chala mwawatumira vamiminzi nawe vazikonka program iyi vaimano kwamba.
Thank you Anonymous. Thank you Anonymous. Thank you. Indeed, we'll be allocating more time for you callers so that you can speak, especially with the restriction in Zambia. I noticed that Senior Leader Honorable Chimbakambwidi is back. Honorable Chimbakambwidi, did you wish to participate again?
No, they are now understanding who UPND government is and who Akainde Ichilema is. Akainde Ichilema's modus operandi is that of Kagame and Museveni. If we are not careful, and we don't want that. We want to maintain our democracy. Tien tumufuniepo yumuntu. Ine nalilushila kwa ma brothers vandu alifwa, ama business yandi yonse alisala, ukumpata fye, mulando wakulande chishinga, because ine chilandila kapeta mulomo. Inendanda ifile chitika ngatafili wino, I would say this is not right, and I'll never stop because I care for the people of Zambia. I care for the people of Ron constituents. I care for everybody. When I was minister, even when a PF made mistakes, I stuck and spoke for the people of Ron constituents. Abo MP na batusebanya. Monen garing combo na HH very close. Chima could go out of his way to speak for HH. Umwache wandimu wanga. Uwa this most media manshani minister. Bonse wala baba posa. Ngakuti aposa abadi close na. Nga imakuti amisa kama nakwi. Nakabili ndewe shabo. People of Southern Province, don't be used. People of Northwestern Province, don't be used. People of Western Province, don't be used. Umunensu ita twamupata twali mutemwa lero chilipire misango ero chili mu Zambia kwati kwali basipeo imo iyakwe bati bamwe abantu bali bengira mutima tabamone fibi nevisuma umwaiche mwe kasonde mwenda na gandile inelo bantu ele kukasama baya ntwala kulapa kabankaka na dichi bachita chikachisikana kuli bambi kasonde mwendo mwaiche wandi icho balefu ata balefu kaya akachite clear abantu 1,000 per province because alalandi chinka lesa mpale musenda myomtende lesa fie eo tuwike muamaka. Long live Zambia, long live the people of Zambia, long live democracy. Chishimba Kambwizi signing off.
Thank you, Wakalamba, and that marks the end of our program. Chimbagambwili has closed our programs with that, with those wise words. Until tomorrow, God bless you, and we'll speak to you later.
We want change! We want change! We want change! We want change! We want a change!
The sound magician. Wi-Fi on the beat, boy.
Mukesa tupangira kwemisebo wali mipele nebo chati mukesa tupangira kwemisebo ni mwewo mwatile mukesa tupulira ne chipatala ifwe ni mwewo mwatile mukesa tupulira na masukulu kuno ukutula potwa misalila ifwe wali tula baona lebo imisebo ala yajonaika ichipatala takwaba kuno abana besu basambirira mufimuti fyamango bana mayo mapapira mungande chipatala takwaba kuno imisepile chose mbalo fwa bapepa tebange fama deliro mufunda tawafika nembuto tashafika ukutula potwa misalila ifwe mulitula baona lebo nombalelo mabwela imwe mulefwa yatumivotere twakumbele votinga tawabombae twakumbele votinga tawabombae tawalimone votinga tawabombae tawalimone votinga tawabombae pantuno mwaka kuya bebele twanakanemwe mwachilamo bufi kuya bebele akwawelele numa kuya bebele mwachilamo bufi uno mwaka tulefa yabakutubombera nota bakwisa kuno mukuzembereka mukutwibira mano nga twabavotera abaya nangu mwatupele ndalama tulepo katatwa mivotere nidonti kubeba wapoka waya nidonti kubeba wapoka waya ababina chimwe na mwekole uko bafuma baliraba bayi kutapiza bala boko bafuma bayi kutapai bala bati bakabwela baja chikeni nena mabanu inapana kaso wala onalebo mulabeja ukutula potwa misalila ifwe walitula baonalebo nombalelo mabwela imwe mulefwa yatumivotere twakumbele